Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the AM show. My name is Denise Apomaje. We're so glad you could join us this Tuesday morning. I hope you slept well and I hope you're good. Well, today is the start of a brand new day. We'll begin with this morning with what appears to be some relief for Ghana's free SHS program. Of course, the Ghana Education Trust Fund has released close to 200 million Ghana cedis to settle outstanding payments to suppliers of perishable food items for senior high schools and TVET institutions. Now, we know that the move, of course, is expected to ease pressure on service providers and also to stabilize feeding in schools. But after months of complaints over delays and, of course, mounting debt, the critical question remains: does this mark a sustainable funding path, or is it simply a short-term intervention? We'll delve into that right here on the show. Also, now to the energy sector, where government's latest move is bringing some relief at the pumps, but raising concerns within the industry. So the suspension of the fuel margins from April 16 has led to a drop in prices, about 2 cedis on diesel and 36 pesos on petrol. However, the bulk oil storage and transportation company warns that it could lose up to 40 million cedis in just 1 month. Yes. So is this a necessary trade-off to cushion consumers, or are we deepening financial pressures within the sector? It's an important conversation that we'll have today on the show. Meanwhile, concerns are resurfacing over Ghana's power stability. Yes, the dreaded Dumsow. Recent power outages across parts of the country have reignited fears, despite assurances from the presidency and an apology from ECG. So for many households, of course, and businesses, the question is simple. Is the situation under control, or are we staring at a recurring problem? So Ghana's energy sector will be on the table for discussion today. We'll unpack all these issues with our panel shortly. We'll be joined by Kwame Nkrumah Botsio. He's lawyer and political commentator. We'll also be joined by Awal Mohammed. He's member NPP Communications Directorate. Also joining us will be Hope Sinadoye. He's director of field operations for the United Party, and Wanda Madilo, development analyst and member NDC Communications team. But first, I will bring you the AM news. My name is Denise Apomaje. It's a lovely Tuesday morning. I'll bring you the news right after. Please do join us for the show. Have a lovely, lovely, wonderful show. Welcome back. This is AM News. Now, in our very first story, a bold new political force, based Ghana First, has stepped onto the scene. The group says it is mobilizing support to persuade NPP flag bearer hopeful Kennedy Agyapong to break ranks and lead them into the next general election. Leaders of the movement insist that there are no fringe players. They claim their ranks include former NPP members. Among them is former financier of the party, George Otibonzu, and former Ablekuma North parliamentary aspirant John Agbote. There's more in the following report.
Calling itself Base Ghana First, the group says it is building a nationwide grassroots coalition made up of delegates and supporters from different political backgrounds with the aim of reshaping how politics is done in the country. At the center of the movement is former Ablekuma North parliamentary aspirant John Agbote, who says the group believes Kennedy Agyapong has the experience and resources needed to create jobs and drive Ghana's development.
Our leader that we are expecting to come over is still in a different party, but we have come out to prepare the grounds for him, to enable him to come and lead us. So the difference here is that whilst the other parties were formed from top down, we are moving from bottom up. When we are gathering the support already before we bring him on, unlike those who come out of the parties before they come looking for support. In these times that we are in, as I said, the only person that has been naturally endowed with the knowledge and the resources, the repertoire, and then the technical know-how to create jobs in Ghana is Kennedy Agyapong.
Founder of the movement, Dr. George Otibonzu, says a leader has emerged and they are determined not to let him abandon his vision for the country.
A leader has emerged, and we do not want him to walk away with his dreams and vision. I believe that if he is given the opportunity to become president, he can develop the country through agriculture and tourism. Any tourism, me professor me to a businessman. Whether it is Ibrahim Mahama or Kennedy Agyapong, what matters is choosing a leader who can create jobs for the youth.
The group says it will revamp nationwide mobilization in the coming months as it seeks to establish itself as a formidable third force in Ghana's political landscape.
The construction of a 24-hour economy market is set to commence in Cape Coast as the Metropolitan Chief Executive George Justice Arthur has revealed that funding has already been secured for the project. During a visit to the earmarked sites, the MCE noted that all preparations have been completed, with the project expected to be delivered within a stipulated 3-year period.
The visit to the 24-hour economy market site in Cape Coast forms part of broader efforts by the Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly to support the government's 24-hour economy policy. The Metropolitan Chief Executive of Cape Coast, George Justice Arthur, explained that the market is expected to be completed within a stipulated 3-year period.
We know this market is a flagship program for the government, more especially His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama. That is part of the 24-hour policy that the government want to roll out. Market, 24-hour market is a policy that is rolling out to every MMDAs. All the 216 MMDAs would have the 24-hour economic market. So Cape Coast is of no exception. The Cape Coast is Metropolitan Assembly, one of the 6 Metropolitan Assembly. In fact, we are even going to get Model 1. The contract is already signed, and this is the site that we have actually prepared. He
added that funding has already been secured to facilitate the construction of the market.
Per the contractual agreement, the contractor is expected to complete this market within 3 years stipulated period. And funding source is also from the District Assembly Common Fund, as we have been taxed that we reference the 25% of the District Assembly Common Fund for each MMDAs, and that is what they will use to pay the contractor. And so we have made it available for them. We will not even touch even 1 pesewa from the 25% that we have been taxed to reference. First quarter for 2025 is there, second quarter for 2025 is there, third quarter for 2025 is there, and the fourth quarter that we have received recently is there. So as for the money, it's intact, and nobody is going to touch the money. The chiefs for Cape Coast Assembly over here, and all of them are aware of this site that we are going to build the 24-hour market here.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Lesal-Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
The Ghana director of the Confucius Institute at the University of Cape Coast, Emmanuel Amo-Ofori, says the institute is developing a comprehensive national Chinese language curriculum to strengthen Ghana-China relations. Currently at the draft stage, the curriculum aims to provide a structured pathway focused on listening and speaking while incorporating cultural knowledge. Professor Ofori made the disclosure at the 2026 International Chinese Language Day celebration themed Chinese Sparking Colorful Dreams.
The 17th International Chinese Language Day was observed in Elmina at an event organized by the Confucius Institute at the University of Cape Coast, CIUCC, in collaboration with Hunan University in China. Representing the Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, the Registrar of the College of Humanities and Legal Studies, Ebenezer Agri, made a call to students to embrace multilingualism.
We hope that you will continue to serve as a bridge between ours here and the Chinese language. My desire and my plea is that each person who learns the Chinese language would also have the opportunity to deepen his or her understanding in a local dialect, because multilingualism is the way to go. When you say how will you say that in our own language? Agyeman-Rawlings and Agyeman-Rawlings will have by now to have been finding others for it. I am an Ahewa, and it means something to me and then in our setting.
On her part, the China director of CIUCC, Professor Zhang Yonghong, commended the achievement of students learning the Chinese language.
I'm proud to say that for the past 2 consecutive years, our students have emerged as the winners of Ghana edition and have gone on to represent the whole country in the international level in China. Some outstanding students like Li Huizhen, Lillian Tobias, and Charity Teddy, I wonder if she is present here now, in the university category, and Margaret in the high school category, and Mafati Chao An in the primary school category. They have brought great honor to our institution.
The Ghana director of CIUCC, Professor Emmanuel Amo-Ofori, disclosed that the institute is working towards developing a comprehensive national Chinese language curriculum.
This curriculum is being carefully designed to meet the evolving needs of our students and institutions, while aligning with international standards. Even as this work continues, we remain committed to delivering high-quality instruction through innovative teaching methods, cultural programs, and immersive experiences. From classroom learning to cultural activities and international exchange opportunities, we are laying a strong foundation for the future of Chinese language education in Ghana.
From Elmina, Abigail Lesal-Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
From the Central Region, let me take you to the Upper West Region, where the Regional Police Commander, DCOP Francis Yiribare, says effective policing is measured not only by crime statistics, but also by public trust. He noted that community confidence enhances cooperation, helping prevent crime rather than just responding to it. Speaking at a capacity-building training in Wa, he stressed that successful community policing depends on professionalism and commitment, assuring residents of the police dedication to fairness, dignity, and human rights.
To combat the creeping threat of violent extremism from the Sahel, the coastal states Stability Mechanism (CSSM) has partnered with the Ghana Police Service to launch an intensive community policing training program. Operating under the theme Strengthening State Presence, Improving Relationships, Building Trust, the initiative aims to bridge the gap between law enforcement and local citizens in vulnerable border districts. Monitoring and Evaluation Officer for CSSM, Amos Fund, explained that violent extremist groups operating in the Sahel are actively expanding towards coastal West Africa. He noted that these groups often exploit local vulnerabilities such as limited state services, economic hardship, and social exclusion. To counter this, the CSSM, implemented by the International Organization for Migration, IOM, exists to proactively unite and government before such distresses take root in Ghana.
Security is strong when communities and security institutions work hand in hand. If we leave the communities alone, we will not achieve our target. So it is proper that the security and the communities work closely for sustainable peace. So we are here for this community policing training to strengthen the collaboration and trust between the community members and security agencies, and to also improve early identification and peaceful management of security concerns at the community level.
Echoing this need for grassroots collaboration, Upper Regional Commander of the Ghana Police Service, DCOP, Francis Yiribare, stressed that modern security challenges require a unified approach. He noted that the ongoing training for the officers is essential for building resilience in high-risk border areas like Sisala West, Lamuse, and Wa West.
The success of community policing depends largely on your attitudes, your professionalism, and commitment in the field. Ladies and gentlemen, effective policing is measured not only by the crime statistics that we generate, but also by the level of public confidence in the police. When communities trust the police, they cooperate. And when they cooperate, we succeed as police in preventing crime rather than merely reacting to crime.
The initiative also received high-level endorsement from the National Police leadership. Official opening the training, Deputy Director General of the National Patrol Department, DCOP, Pranjut Kobina, highlighted the operational impacts of CSM's previous interventions. These included training 100 officers in the Northeast region and providing critical equipment to enhance rapid response capabilities.
Policing is most effective when it is close to people, when citizens are involved, and when trust is built through consistent, respectful engagement. It is through partnership with communities that we prevent crime, reduce fear, strengthen local resilience, and ensure that the police remain a force for peace, protection, and service.
The Monitoring and Evaluation Officer for CSSM, Amos Fund, and the facilitators ultimately urge the participating officers to translate their acquired skills into real-world impact by treating the public with dignity, engaging with traditional community structures, and building mechanisms that reduce tensions before they escalate. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
And from the Upper West region, let's head back to Accra. Ghana is moving to deepen technology partnerships with Zambia as a high-level delegation arrives in Accra. The team led by Zambia's Technology and Science Minister is in Ghana for a two-day engagement. The visit follows earlier talks held in Lusaka in February, signaling growing cooperation between the two countries. Communications Minister Sam George says the engagement must deliver concrete business deals before the delegation departs. Gemma Apia reports.
The visit marks a continuation of growing bilateral relations between the two African nations, with both governments signaling a strong commitment to leveraging technology as a driver of economic growth and development. The delegation, which includes 16 business representatives from Lusaka, is expected to participate in intensive discussions and networking sessions designed to translate dialogue into tangible business outcomes. Speaking at a meeting hosted by the National Communications Authority, Ghana's Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations, Sam George, expressed optimism that the visit will yield concrete results.
It is exciting for us. We welcome you to Accra. It's going to be, the next 48 hours are going to be very intense. Conversations, deliberations, discussions. For us, it must be a learning process. We must learn from each other and understand how we can make Zambia and Ghana even better. I believe and I'm confident that by the end of this official engagement, which will end when the Honorable Minister leaves on Wednesday morning to continue with his trip, that some of you are going to remain in Accra to tie up and close deals and businesses that will serve our people better. But may the next 2 days be a period of learning, let it be a period of sharing, and let it be a period of us building the strong alliances and bonds that matter to us.
Meanwhile, Zambia's Minister for Technology and Science, Felix Mutati, says Zambia's IT sector contributes about 50% to its GDP, stressing that deeper collaboration with Ghana is key to developing homegrown solutions to shared technological challenges.
For the next few hours that are going to be here, from Zambia we have some expectations. We want something to take away from here backwards. But if also we can leave something from Zambia into Ghana, we would have achieved our mission. And we want particular colleagues from here to understand that the role of the minister and myself as government is to create an enabling environment.
And in business news, the Electricity Company of Ghana is injecting 2,500 distribution transformers into the grid as part of its 3.46 billion cedi capital investment to ease pressure on the network. Acting MD Julius Kwame Pekpena says the move forms part of efforts to restore reliability, including replacing damaged transformers and strengthening infrastructure under Operation Keep the Lights On. He made this remark during a press briefing in Accra.
The Electricity Company of Ghana has apologized to the public over recent intermittent power outages, commonly known as Dumsow. The acting managing director, Engineer Kwame Pekpena, says measures are being implemented to address reliability challenges driven by a rising number of transformer failures, which have affected the stability of power supply.
A significant portion of ECG's distribution network, including transformers, cables, and substations, are overloaded. They have exceeded the thermal limits. Over the years, rapid urbanization and population growth have placed enormous additional demand on the network that has not been upgraded at a commensurate pace. The result is widespread overloading, particularly during peak periods, which leads to frequent faults, low voltage conditions, and supply interruptions. The scale of the problem is evident in the rising number of transformer failures. In 2023-24, ECG lost 834 transformers. In 2025, that number rose to 1,064. It is an indication that when we transfer customers from damaged transformers to existing ones, nearby ones, we in turn overload that one and we exacerbate the problem even more.
He further disclosed that the company plans to invest about 3.46 billion in Ghana cedis to strengthen and modernize the power distribution network.
ECG has developed comprehensive phased program totaling 3.46 billion to address the current reliability crisis and transform our network capacity to deliver power reliably. The program has been structured into 5 categories based on how urgent they are and the timeline for implementation. The first category or bucket of investment totaling 278 million. These are actions that we need to implement right now to correct difficulties and constraints we have in the network. We are injecting 2,500 distribution transformers to relieve the overloaded ones we currently have. And we are replacing hundreds of damaged transformers. Those that have already been damaged and have been removed from the network, we need to replace them. We are replacing 1,600 rotten poles in the low voltage network under a program we call Operation Keep the Light On.
With support from the government, including a cabinet decision to ring-fence a portion of the cash waterfall mechanism process for capital investment, the company says it is committed to delivering a more reliable and efficient power supply to customers.
Consumer spending proxied by domestic VAT collections and retail sales posted a positive performance in January 2026 compared with the corresponding period in 2025. More in the following report.
According to the March 2026 Monetary Policy Report, domestic VAT collections increased by 7.1% on a year-on-year basis to 1.7 billion cedis from 1.6 billion cedis. However, on a month-on-month basis, domestic VAT declined by 13.1% in January 2026 from 2 billion cedis in the preceding month. Retail sales increased by 16.6% year-on-year to 277.8 million cedis in January 2026, up from the 238.3 million cedis recorded in the same period in 2025. Compared to December 2025, however, retail sales declined by 14.1%. Also, activities in the manufacturing subsector, gauged by trends in the collection of direct taxes and private sector workers' contribution to the Social Security and National Insurance Trust Pension Scheme, Tier 1, recorded a positive performance in January 2026. Total direct taxes collected increased by 9% to 5.802 billion cedis in January 2026, compared with 5.322 billion cedis recorded in January 2025.
Well, that's it for AM News. Don't forget that the AM show is sponsored by Shield, Silicone Paint from Azar Group, Syntex Pipes, and also Time Herbal Mixture. But ladies and gentlemen, as we enjoy today's moment, remember to keep your body refreshed and your energy right with Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water. Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water is not just any water. It's natural and mineral rich that keeps you going. So whether you're dancing, cheering, networking, or simply enjoying the moment, Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water helps you stay cool, refreshed, and fully present. So grab a bottle available in 500 ml, 20-liter jars, and sachets. For bulk purchase or enquiries, call 055-2250-290. My name is Denise Apomaje. That's it for AM News. For more news, please do log on to myjournalline.com. But right about now, I hand over to Muftar Nabila Abdullahi to bring us sports.
And I look fresh because of fresh natural mineral water, isn't it? So you need to grab a bottle, and as he mentioned, it is in 500 ml and also in sachet. Get in touch with them so that you can get yours as well. We'll bring you sports right now. We bring you sports now on the AM show here. I am Muftaro Nabila Abdullah. We are just a few days to the FIFA World Cup. And have you secured your slot yet? If you haven't, walk to Latina Travel and Tour. They are located at Alisa Hotel, and secure your package or your slot to experience the FIFA World Cup. That will be happening in the USA, Mexico, and Canada. You can equally call them on 0244-260-789 to inquire more and secure your slot of experience in the FIFA World Cup. If you buy a slot or a package, the package comes with your visa application processes. If you want a US visa, you'll go through an interview. But if you want a Canadian visa, that one you will not go through an interview or process. The plus of the US visa is that if you get it, it makes it easier for you to secure the Canadian visa. And also your flight ticket as well as your match ticket to watching Ghana lineup against Panama, England, and Croatia would also be secured. So get in touch with Latina for that spot. And also, if you want to give your customers a certain experience, or your clients, or even your staff a certain level of experience by giving them an opportunity to witness the FIFA World Cup at the semi-final stage and even the final, March Hospitality Experience team, they have just secured some small batch of match tickets for the semi-final happening on July 14 and 15, as well as the final on July 19. So you need to get in touch with them on 055-155-11119, 055-155-11119 to get the tickets. And if you speak to them, they will ensure that you experience the FIFA World Cup at the semi-final and the final stage. Now, let me take you to Tamale, where President John Dramani Mahama and his wife, Lodina Mahama, they are constructing a multi-purpose sports facility for their alma mater, which is the Ghana Secondary School in Tamale. The facility, which is being put together by Wembley Sports Construction, is expected to have about 1,200 capacities for students who want to witness games that will be happening in the school. The facility comes with a basketball court, a volleyball court, football pitch, as well as other infrastructure for the development of sporting activities in the area. My colleague, Martina Bugri, was there when the president inspected the facility and put together this report.
The sports complex, when completed, will cater for multiple sports disciplines, including athletics, tennis, basketball, volleyball, among others. Construction, which started in November 2025, is expected to be completed in July. Speaking to the media after the president's inspection, Chief Executive Officer of Wembley Sports Ghana, Robert Coleman, noted that this is the first of such complex being constructed for any senior high school in the SAP region.
We are doing a 1,200 capacity sports complex, the first of its kind in West Africa for any secondary school. You have 250 on the other side. Then you have the VIP. Beneath the VIP stand, we have changing rooms for both Team A and then Team B.
He added that once completed, the complex will serve as a hub where many schools can revolve around in discovering and nurturing talents.
Certainly, what it means is that now Ghana School is going to be a center where most of the secondary schools will revolve around. Night football is going to happen. Night long tennis is going to happen. And like you see, we have other disciplines. We have the long jump, we have the triple jump, we have the high jump. You know, the school produce Abedipele. So we are going to see more of Abedipeles in the system.
HOD Community Relations and Corporate Social Responsibility at Ghana Gas, Alfred Ogbami, said, apart from Ghana School, Other projects in the area are being constructed by Ghana Gas.
There are other projects in the pipeline, and as and when they are commissioned, the public is made aware of them. As you would know, a number of projects have already been commissioned. The difference with this one is that it's more of a sports complex.
Now, let me take you to the camp of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. They announced on Monday night that acting head coach Prince Yao Owusu has stepped down from his role. According to Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Prince Owusu decided to step down because moving away from leading the technical team of the Porcupine Warriors was in the best interest of himself and that of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. The club announced that Hamza Oben, who is the current head coach of the youth side of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, will take charge of the senior team until the end of the season. Kumasi Asante Kotoko currently occupy fifth place on the Ghana Premier League table, and they are hoping that with Hamza Oben, who has had the opportunity of working with the likes of Kumasi, Accra House of Oak, when Samuel Boadu was in charge, and they won the Ghana Premier. They are hoping he'll be able to turn the fortunes of the team around to help them finish in a respectable position at the end of the season. There are 5 matches more to end the Ghana Premier League campaign. Now let's talk about EU in Ghana. They had an event of cycling from Tamale all the way up to Accra, and the distance was about 800 kilometers. My colleague Penti Nitijudo was there and put together this report.
Kilometer journey from Tamale, where the European Union ambassador to Ghana, Ronnie Skinnerback, alongside the French and Czech ambassadors and other dignitaries who took part in the cycling sustainability relay. The cyclists were received at the Kingdom of the Netherlands Embassy by the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Yao Ampofo-Ankra.
Team members, the sponsors, the media, everybody that was part of this program. I think you've done remarkably well. Ride with Team Europe. It's not just about Tamale to Accra, but as our ambassador said earlier, it's about the teamwork, you know, the character, the ups and downs, getting to know each other, the resilience, all of that adds in making it a very successful ride.
Also speaking at the event, EU Ambassador to Ghana, Ronnie Skinnerback, highlighted the sustainability drive behind the initiative.
As we conquered the hills towards Aburi, it is truly impressive. But this was not only about Team Europe and roads and effort. It was about diplomacy. It was about sustainability. It was about infrastructure, certainly. We felt it. We still feel it in our legs. But on diplomacy, I think there is no better way to celebrate EU's physical presence in Ghana than by traveling by bike from one end to the other. We have planted 1,000 trees on the way. Trees, they symbolize growth, they symbolize sustainability, they're climate friendly, and we did it together with the Forestry Commission as part of the Tree for Life initiative, and I hope when we pass by next time they will still be there.
He also outlined some of the challenges faced by cyclists and called for an improved road safety.
And even if we did feel safe, thanks to the gladiators, it's important to remember that 8 people die every day in Ghana in traffic. We have to be careful. Ghana has to improve on that front, and we want to help. We were fortunate to enjoy the protective shield of the very capable Ghana Police Service and a medical team that we fortunately didn't need. And I'd like to thank them for their support along the ride also.
The ride with Team Europe Cycling Relay brought together European diplomats and partners in show of unity to mark 50 years of the EU and Ghana relations. Reporting for Joy Sports, Penti Jijo, Kingdom of the Netherlands Embassy, Accra.
A few days ago, a Bekum Chelsea player was killed in an armed robbery attack after the team had traveled to Samatex for a Ghana Premier League game. The player had moved from Ediana Stars to Bekum Chelsea during the January transfer window. The Chief Executive Officer of Ediana Stars, Collins Atapoko, he says that one of the major challenges clubs face in the country is a lack of resources, hence their decision to travel at night so that they could arrive at match venues the next morning and freshen up before the game. He says clubs do not have the luxury of traveling during the day.
There's no guarantee that when we get out of our beds and go out, we'll go back home safely. Only God knows. When it's tragic, it's tragic. You could be the wrong guy at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's exactly what happened to him.
So, Ediana Stars, who was your player? What institutional changes will this unfortunate incident provoke on your side?
You know, we're actually asking, why didn't he even keep him? Well, probably would have stopped this, but the major institutional change that we will look to is not about the loaning system we have there, but then using their situation as an example to get the right people to speak to us when there is this kind of emergency. It could have been an accident, it could have been a robbery, it could have been an emergency fire on the bus. How do we deal with that? And we are trying to get to the right people to help us in such circumstances.
What about in terms of specifically the teams traveling outside scenario?
Well, I must confess we've been doing what police had suggested to us in recent times a while back. And the reality is that we are criminally underdeveloped. So we just can't afford the luxury of traveling in daytime. If I'm going to Accra and I move at 6 a.m. from Doma, it means I won't train on that day. But if I move at 6 p.m., I'll get to Accra, sleep, and we'll be able to train the next day. It's a dilemma, but we are trying to get the right vehicles for very bad roads and then see what comes out of it.
The 2026 Milo U-13 Champions League will be starting later this week. The launch took place at Nestle Ghana's office in Joel. My colleague, Penty Newton-Jido, has more in the following report.
The launch event was graced by Ghana football legends Stephen Appiah and Asamoah Gyan. 16 basic schools drawn from across all 16 regions of Ghana will compete for the newly unveiled Milo U-13 Champions League trophy. Managing Director of Nestle Ghana, Salome Azevedo, speaking at the event, stressed the broader impact of the competition beyond football.
Football speaks a language everyone understands. It brings communities together and helps young players discover their potential. Beyond the thrill of just a match, the game instills lasting values including confidence, resilience, respect, and the ability to work as a team. After a successful comeback of the Milo U-13 Champions League in 2025, we have witnessed renewed passion and attention for the tournament. I personally thank you for that.
She also highlighted Nestle Ghana's objectives for sports development.
At Nestle Ghana, we believe sports can be a powerful force for good in the lives of children. And this is why we continue to invest in platforms that develop young talent and character. For this reason, we are here once again honored to sponsor the 2026 U-13 Champions League, an annual grassroots football tournament that identifies promising talent in basic schools while reinforcing teamwork, discipline, fair play, and a healthy living.
Speaking to Joy Sports, Asamoah Gyan reiterated the importance of investing in grassroots football.
Good to be part of the Milo Champions League because talking about grassroots football, that is the way to go. And I've been supporting with grassroots football since, and I've also been part of it. So very, very happy to be part. And this is important for Ghana. Especially because talking about Milo Champions League, we've got a lot of players who are already playing in the national team. They've discovered a lot of talent, not only in football, different activities. So I think it's a very good thing for Ghana. this initiative started way back, and I'm a product of Milo, so it's something that has been very, very important for us, and we are very, very grateful.
He also advised the younger generation to remain disciplined.
Yes, my advice to the young ones is to be very, very determined. Of course, education is the key. They have to be very, very determined, very, very humble, and more dedicated. Humble means, when you go to the training grounds, you have to listen to your coaches, whatever they say in the instructions and everything. And I think this is the way to go.
The 2026 Under-13 Milo Champions League is scheduled to run from April 20 to 25 at the Isipon Stadium in Sekondi Takrade. Reporting for Joy Sports, Penti Jijo, Nestle Ghana, Accra.
And wrapping up in the studios here in Kupkumlimli, I am Muftaro Nabila Abdullah. The AM show continues right after this round of messages.
Another week is here on the greatest of all time show. My name is Giovanni Clip, and tonight we're bringing you talent. Contestant number 1, let's bring Baby Car. Let's bring. You didn't for you.
Cut. Oh, there is a leakage.
Where's the plumber? For quality and durability, insist on Syntex pipes. If you want quality, this be where you belong. Strong, tough, and reliable. Your perfect match to your trusted Syntex pipe. Syntex pipe, it dey carry water, no wahala. Syntex pipe, it dey make water dey flow. Syntex, and you're strong, and you're tough.
Cadbury hot chocolate, crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy, chocolatey, frothy goodness, rich taste, so satisfying.
Cadbury goodness, the treat you deserve every day.
Shield silicone paint repels water, dispels water vapor, is washable, self-cleaning, and durable. Now, you can appreciate how and why Shield silicone paint is super strong and thus able to do what other paints cannot do. Shield silicone paint from Azar Group since 1921.
Now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown crane, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults, this price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Hey! Is your tech holding you back? Feeling lost in the maze of outdated gadgets? Relax. Come with me to Confucius.
See magic. Now I've been international fashion designer. No more president talk matter beer. Coffee Ghana. Classic. Oh, number one.
At Confucius Ghana, we don't just sell electronics, we transform your life. From office to home appliances and more, we have everything you need to step into the future.
Confucius Ghana, classic one. Confucius Ghana, number one.
Welcome to Malcolm, where shopping is a musical experience for all generations. Grannies, let's roll it back.
Malcolm Ghana, we did for you. Malcolm's got it all for me and you. Life made so easy, easy, lemon squeezy, shopping made easy. Sometimes money day, sometimes some way out of budget. Malcolm's easy. The price is right.
The price is right.
The price is nice.
The price is nice.
Fresh with the vibes, unbeatable. Do the price they fly.
Do the price they fly.
Your number one stop shop, number one. Your number one stop shop, Malcolm. Malcolm Ghana, we did for you. Malcolm's got it all for me and you.
No matter the generation you belong to, Malcolm is where Ghana shops.
Bring back home the experience.
Bring home the experience.
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high.
Got to dream with Puma drinks. Puma. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you.
Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved. Shield silicone paint repels water, dispels water vapor, is washable, self-cleaning, and durable. Now, you can appreciate how and why Shield silicone paint is super strong and thus able to do what other paints cannot do. Shield silicone paint from Azar Group since 1921.
Now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown crane, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults, this price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
to 3 schools for the deaf in Ghana, namely Savlugu School for the Deaf, Biogu and Wa School for the Deaf. In Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe, this year, we have donated cameras and accessories to 3 deaf students. I am humbled to be recognized among such inspiring change makers. This recognition will shed more light on supporting hearing impaired community with skills as well as amplifying our work and opening new doors for collaboration, funding, visibility. It validates the importance of inclusive storytelling and education. With this award, we can scale our impact, reaching more deaf students, training more mentors, and producing more stories that shape mindsets and spark dialogue.
When news breaks, there's no pause button. With fast-moving, developing stories, decisions are unfolding, and the nation is watching. This is News Desk, with a very fast and precise tone and attitude, 1 hour. The biggest stories, the clearest facts, politics, governance, security, the economy, not rumors, not speculation, but verified news.
It's clear that the people wanted to change the will of the people of Pandai, but the Supreme Court has affirmed the will of the people.
Backed by context, sharpened by analysis. Here, headlines are not enough. We go beyond the what to ask the why and the what next. Decision makers are questioned, policies are examined, and the facts are allowed to speak without fear, without favor. This is News Desk on Joy News. Independent, fearless, credible.
From farm to plate, do you really know what you're eating? Any glitch in the circuit of the food chain can change the price and size of what you eat. Technology has changed the face of farming, but how is Ghana plugging in? Join Jesse Aram Agbakpo, Emmanuel Bright Kweku on the food chain as they project startups in the agri sector, highlight the gains and plight of industry players while engaging with experts for more insights on agri-related issues. Food chain, everything agriculture and more, as during the Joy Business Report every Thursday at 1 p.m. on Joy FM and every Saturday at 6 p.m. on the Joy News channel, with a repeat on Tuesdays at 2:30 p.m.
My name is Portia Domba. I come from Dabo in the Upper West region, but I work in the Savannah region under Sola Tuna Kaba district. I'm a teacher by profession and also the head teacher at Domangui DA Primary School. I am a social entrepreneur. I work with rural women in shea butter processing, and then this idea came up after I realized most of the women in my community do not make ends meet and therefore ends up cutting the tree. In order to expand the impact, I founded Podukwe Touch Life, which is an NGO where the profit we get from the social enterprise, which is the sales of the shea butter, goes in doing community activities, supporting students, helping girls with sanitary pads, and also organizing skills training for young people just so they can have something to do and not loiter in the community. I was there, I think, early January. A security supervisor from my district called and said, Portia, I've seen Joy News doing an advert, and then with their Impact Makers Award, you qualify because you are doing a lot, and I've seen people being celebrated. So I know that you qualify. I want to nominate you. And I was like, okay, no problem, because that was the first time I was hearing about the Joy News Impact Makers Award. So he nominated me, and then I think few weeks to the deadline, my husband also nominated me for that same award. Ending of February, I got a call that I've been moved to the next stage, and then here we are today. I'm so grateful because it makes me feel like the little that I do in my community as a way of supporting, it's like it's being seen and being appreciated. I'm not doing this to be appreciated, but then it makes me feel like even the little that we are doing, others are seeing, and it's inspiring people. So I'm really, really grateful. And I think it got to a point where I didn't like this awarding thing because there are times people will say you have to pay money to be awarded, and I don't see the need of it. But this Joy News Impact Makers Award, following and reading about it, is something different. It gives the award to people who genuinely need it. So I'm really, really grateful, and I appreciate this award. And I know that when others also hear my story, it will inspire them to even do more in their community, knowing that the little they do count, and others see and appreciate, even if they don't come to tell them.
Thank you so much for always choosing us every morning. So we're reviewing the news shortly, but I shall run you through the newspapers quickly. And this morning we'll start with the Daily Graphic. First, the biggest story reported by the Daily Graphic is that government boosts power supply capacity. 2,500 transformers being installed nationwide. Details is in the Daily Graphic this morning. And Asante honors President Mahama and 2 former presidents with gold medal. Story is in the Daily Graphic this morning as well. IPMC donates street lights, ICT lab to support education in rural areas. ENI Ghana leads partnership to expand healthcare access in Western region. That is the Daily Graphic this morning. I'll take you to another newspaper. Let's try if this is going to respond, and then try to bring you some other newspapers this morning. Right, the Daily Guide this morning. CSO is criticized over natural resources destruction silence, and Professor Boedi's photo is there. Story is on page 3 of the Daily Guide this morning. The biggest story, which is as well on our desk this morning, will be the former vice president, the NPP's presidential flag bearer, has been speaking and says that intimidation can't break NPP. And he's been telling the government, I think there was a delegation from the Bono East region and some of the party leadership that visited him at his residence, and this is where he made the comments. I think this was a supposed thank you after he played a critical role in the release of the Bono East Regional Communications Director. I don't know. I think that's the biggest title they gave to him. Yeah, he leads their communication in that area following his arrest. So he's been released, and that's what he's been saying. He says that it looks like our democracy is under some sort of attack because he thinks that the current government is using state security apparatus to silence dissent ideas. The story is there, page 3. We'll try and seek some clarity. It's in the Daily Guide as well. So, Nigerian grabbed for operating a brothel. It's in the Daily Guide this morning. Wontumi gets another chance to file witness statements. I read just portions of what happened in court yesterday. The Deputy Attorney General has been advocating that, well, he should be jailed. Story is quite developing, but he still gets the chance to file his witness statements. We're still following that story. Economy Times, investors diversify away from T-bills. IMF signals optimism for Ghana amid lingering financial headwinds. And GCB Bank declares one Ghana cedi dividend as growth surges. Story I need to look at for you, but if you're interested, please grab a copy of the Economy Times this morning. The Chronicle, which happens to be the Ahanta Police favorite newspaper so far, has been reporting that Nzema youth kick against illegal mining by foreign nationals on Adamu's concession. Story is on page 2 and 3 of the Chronicle, and the photo of the Lands and Natural Resources Minister is there as well. Okay, so I've been telling you how the AG has been asking the court to convict Wontumi, and the Deputy Attorney General's picture is what has been rolled up in front of the Chronicle this morning. Government rolls out operation Keep the Lights On to stabilize power supplies. There was some sort of an apology by the current Managing Director for ECG, apologizing for the intermittent power outages and still be assuring that, well, they do everything they will do to keep the lights on. The Chronicle as well is reporting that the Ghanaian publisher demonstration or demo rocks Adamu's mining, Lands Minister urged to act. Stories on page 2 is still about the Nzema youth kicking against that concession by Adamus. You are interested in that story? It is in the Ghanaian publisher as well. Court allows Wontumi to file witness statement. Also finds expression in the Ghanaian publisher. Baumia to Mahama, stop harassing critics. This is still on the visit by the and some MPP members to his residence to thank him for the role he played in the release of what's his name? He has a nickname, that Baba Mando. His release. That story as well is in the Ghanaian publisher. I will urge you to go to myjoyonline.com for more stories, but my director is such a nice person. He will put maybe the top story of My Joy Online for you to see what's happening, but otherwise you can navigate your way. There you go. On your screen, Akonta mining saga. I'm sure you know that's pinning down on Wontumi. Court gives Wontumi last chance to file his witness statements, plus other stories on myjoyonline.com. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. It will take us straight to, you want to start our conversation on the matters arising today. And definitely what the Vice President has been saying. As well, we'll tell you that if you're still unsure, we have confirmation and a statement from GETFund that suggests that they have released some funds, exactly 199.4 million, to clear outstanding perishables for the feeding brouhaha that happened with the free SHS and TVET as well. And the statement is here. At some point when we start discussing it, I'll give you the details of it. Yesterday, I recall that when I spoke to the PRO for the Ministry of Education here, assured that schools will not shut down. Charles as well has been hoping that it will not happen. So we're happy to hear that this release. But it would invite us to want to look at why we're back here to this conversation again. So you want to stay with us. Did you see the apology as well? I hope that it makes you settled. But if you live around Adenta, I still know that the light is still going on and off. So there you go. But joining me this morning is Kwame Nkrumah-Botiu. I haven't seen him in a while. He's a lawyer and political commentator as well. Awal Mohammed, member of the NPP Communications Directorate, shall be joining us a bit later. And Herbson Adoy is Director of Field Operations United Party. And Wanda Madilo is Development Analyst and as well a member of the NDC Communications team. Lawyer, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're well. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yes.
Will a Happy New Year be too late?
I was here in January. I think I was here in January. Yes.
Wonder, let's have one meeting. What's the problem?
No, I'm saying, when you mentioned the way you were smiling, when you mentioned my name, you just went up.
Because you were Wonder. The name will not invite me to want to be smiling. But Kwame Nkrumah, who will not smile when they're saying Kwame Nkrumah?
Yes, it brings back fond memories of our
Nkrumah has descendants in us.
Efo hopes and Efo. I love the outfits. All right. So yesterday, a lot has been happening. Honestly, yesterday, one of the conversations that topped or dominated a public discourse definitely was that stalemate. We like to call it a stalemate at the stakeholder engagement that happened when the minister called to find a clear pathway for this feeding challenge. We've seen, and I'm just going to read the statement to you if you haven't seen it. Kingsley, with your leave, I'll just read the statement. It says that, so it was released 20th of April, 2026. It says that GETFund releases 199.47 million to clear outstanding perishables for free SHS and feeding and TVET, The Ghana Education Trust Fund has released 3 checks totaling 199. That's like a long figure, but nearly 200 million this yesterday, because they say this afternoon, to settle outstanding payments for perishable supplies. The disbursement covers arrears owed to suppliers under the Free Senior High School, October to February, TVET from October to December as well. This payment reaffirms government's commitment to honoring obligations to service providers who support feeding and logistics for free SHS and TVET institutions nationwide. The release is expected to ease operational pressures on suppliers and ensure the uninterrupted delivery of essential perishable items to students under both programs. GETFund remains committed to timely payment and sustained collaboration with stakeholders to strengthen educational service delivery across the country. I'll start with you, Kwame Nkrumah. I don't know if you've been following the conversations around this feeding, but GETFund seems to want to settle the dust. The payment is done. That's what Charles has been calling for. Parents have been quite worried, but we have some headway.
I think it's about time. I'm glad this impasse has been settled. Having well-fed students is something that is very important for everybody. Even I personally, one of the reasons I got to know of this impasse is occasionally we have been supporting some students in school, and we're getting a lot of phone calls from them, all of them asking for extra pocket money, all because of this school feeding issue. I'm glad it has been settled, and as far as I know, I think the students in the SHS, they went back recently, I think in the middle of March or so. So that means that for about a month now, they've not been able to have adequate nutrition, especially when it comes to the perishables, because we all know that a lot of these processed foods, they don't do so much for the brain and education. Therefore, I think it's good that it has been settled. It's very, very good news. And as I was reading further in the story, I realized that there were some suggestions as to how to avoid future issues like this. And one of the suggestions that I saw that I think is very important is having a public-private partnership when it comes to school feeding, where wealthy parents will be required to pay more where they can. I think it's a call in the right direction, because those who have the means should be able to support in any way that they can. When this free SHS first came, we all welcomed, a lot of us welcomed it, but I was one of those who felt that there should be leeway for wealthy parents to be exempt from this free SHS. But it is a general free SHS, it is all-encompassing. So I think gradually that method of having wealthier parents contribute more, it's becoming more of a reality. So kudos to GETFund, kudos to the government, but we should find a long-term solution. This is not the first time this feeding crisis.
What will a long-term solution look like for you?
A long-term solution would be, as I said, when these students are being given admission, a lot of the time when you are filling the form, you have the profession of the parents. I mean, there are ways to tell whether a student can afford more or less. Therefore, some of these students who are found to have parents who can pay more, should be made to pay a little more than the others. So we shouldn't have it should be free SHS, but when it comes to certain students who can afford it, then their parents should be levied something extra in order to support the other students. So more or less, free SHS should be here to stay. However, there should be some allowable levies occasionally, or there should be parents should be encouraged to give voluntary contributions, probably through the PTAs or other bodies, in order not to put too much strain on the government.
Okay, Dobson.
Yeah. Okay. Once again, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think it's a good call, but maybe I will have a little disagreement on the part of maybe parents who can afford. Are you getting it? When we do that, then we seem to bring in what we term as discrimination. Are you getting it? How do you determine? And then by filling forms, okay, I state my father is a lawyer. So you may think that, once a lawyer's kid is capable of paying. And I can tell you, most of the lawyers too are not getting job. Cases. So they go through the same difficulty as ordinary parents also go through. So once it's a free education, let us maintain it that way, that is free. All we need is that government should be able to sustain it. One, what was the purpose? When we first started from the basic, it was instituted to boost enrollment. Because that time, I was in classroom then. You go to school enrollment of about 200 or 300 pupils. You go and there may be 100 and something present, others absent. You will not get full school all the time. Mm-hmm. You go into the community, you find out, all because I don't have money to buy food and those kind of things. So when school feeding started, it was a major breakthrough. And every school that you go, you see, all kids were in school at that time. So it was a good initiative. So it boosted the enrollment at that time. And then we talk of maybe social protection, so that kids will not be left behind because parents cannot afford. In all this, it was helping the nation. But what are the challenges? That's where we are today. Why should GETFund wait for heads of schools to agitate before we release funds? Are you getting it? Once we have the funds there, we should make sure that, look, we release it on time. Emefa, the statement you read, they said from October to some December, some to February or so.
I'll check again.
Yeah.
So you pay this money just to defray the cost that you are owing. Then we come to square one. They are now going to struggle to make sure that maybe for the next 3 months or so, they should be able to talk to the suppliers to give it to them on. We should not be running the state this way. Now that we have a dedicated fund, GETFund is fully taking it. GETFund, we know.
Do we have a dedicated fund?
Pardon me?
Do we have a dedicated fund, or GETFund would have to raise the fund?
GETFund is taking care of it, and GETFund is a dedicated fund.
Okay.
Are you getting it? Look at the taxes that we pay.
So if I understand, it's a pool that GETFund will take from.
That's right. No, GETFund itself.
And by itself.
Okay. Are you getting it? Yes. So we should not wait for this kind of agitations before we, release funds for heads to do some of these things. So we will plead with government to make sure that there should be timely payment all the time. I mean, Emefa, it's a bit decent. Look at the amount they give per head. I mean, the student. When we give it to you, that feed yourself in the day, what will you use it for? Are you getting it? But because it's a group, when you put it together, at least you'll be able to do something. Let us make sure we do it. Look, my daughter was at St. Rose's, Akosua.
Okay.
And anytime she was going, I make sure food that she will eat throughout the term, I prepare it. If it is Gary, so I need 2 bowls, I make sure I make it 3. I will tell her to prepare the list for me. Whatever she brings, I'll make sure he has enough. Are you getting it? So I've been asking. So I go to dining when my food is finished. The private one that I've provided, when it's finished, then she says they need to go to dining. It's happening. But this time, I learned there is a little improvement in the feeding. So most of the times, you will not see students staying back that, oh, I'm not going to dining and all that. I learned they've been getting some kind of eggs and other things. So if they release money, children will find the interest of attending dinings and other things so that we avoid this kind of agitations before government will release. It doesn't sound well when we get to that point. So the minister should make sure that, look, there is a timetable. If we are going to release money every 3 months, we should do that. If it is going to be monthly, whatever, let us do it consistent so that at least we can maintain this program. We don't need...
Generally, governance is about managing scarce resources, right? So if I have a supplier who can provide me with the things that I need and then I'll pay later, which means that I can use that funds to do something else. Is there anything
when is the later?
Governance way?
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
When is the later? Yes, I can agree to supply you so that you pay me later. But if you overstay, are you getting it? I mean, you should pay me maybe after the work, maybe 2 months or 3 months. And then we stay for 6 months, you are not paying me. How do I do more supplies? I cannot. So we should make sure that we have a timetable that maybe every term, beginning of every term, we are going to pay this. Maybe close of this thing, we'll pay that, and all those kind of things. I mean, if we don't do it that way, I don't think we'll be able to sustain it. And we are praying that there shouldn't be any point in time that we say, oh, students should go home because we don't have food. We should not get there at all.
I don't think it's ever happened, has it?
It has happened.
We're always at the brink of it. But
no, some previous, especially the northern sector, almost they close schools because of food.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Wanda.
A very good morning to your viewers. This debate about free SHS, feeding grants, and support and all that has been with us for some time now. Since 2005, when the GETFund was, right? Am I right? 2000.
I can check.
No, sorry. The school feeding was 2005. The GETFund was
school feeding.
Yeah, school feeding.
Yeah.
Under President Akufo, 2005. We've had this challenge with us for some time, and we must be honest as a country and assess where we have gotten to in this regard. Students have had to demonstrate sometimes. I remember even when I was NUC's president, we have had calls to call on government to pay GETFund contractors, to pay school feeding providers and all that. And so it's been a perennial challenge. But I have a personal view. And when I say personal, I understand that it's personal to me. At this point, I'm not canvassing government position, but I'm trying to put out a solution to the problem. It's going to be very radical, but I think we need government to bite this once and for all. Why am I saying this? The schools operate within a district. You have municipal assemblies, metropolitan assemblies, and the district assemblies. What support do they give to these schools? What support do they give to these schools? They receive their district assembly common fund. Whatever they use it for, education should be of key interest to them. So I am suggesting that government should, one of these days, start deducting from source some contributions from the district assemblies in taking care of the various schools within their domain. That's number one, and it's key. It's key because it will put the municipal assemblies on their toes to know that part of their revenue or part of their funds coming in is going to these schools. Most of the schools are existing and nobody cares about them, nobody talks about them, nobody goes there to inspect and all that. And they are, really under infrastructural gaps over some of this consumption expenditure and all that. And that is a major concern to education in this country. Number two, I suggest that still this debate about handing over the schools, the mission schools, to the missions is possible. Why is it possible? You see, when the schools were under the missions, the Presbyterian, the Catholic schools and all that, they were, better managed than it is when we took over. Why? Discipline was one of the things that they paid attention to. Child development and growth was one of the things they paid attention to. In fact, even the personal development of the children were key to these missions because they saw those schools as the breeding ground for their next line of their next generation to say. So the Roman Catholic schools will pay attention to their girls' schools, the Presbyterian schools will pay attention to their boys' schools, schools like Prempeh College, Presec, and all those. Those are Presbyterian schools, and those schools have come of age, they are elite, and we should be able to preserve the sanctity of some of these schools. I'm not saying that poor people can't go to that school, but when you have made so much infrastructure in these schools, and they are also now beginning to look like the others that don't have infrastructure, then you are collapsing the whole system. It will be better off to protect the ones that are available, that are doing well, and support them to continue. Minimal support because government is paying salary of teachers, government is paying utilities on campus, government is giving them feeding grants, government is providing infrastructure.
That could be a lot.
That for me, it's a worrying concern how government even find its way around some of this. And there is a reason why payment delays in some of because we don't have any proper funding support for many of these programs. GETFund was initially put together to support tertiary education institutions. The first time President Akufo bought buses for private institutions was a huge, cry in this country. Today we have reduced it to even feeding grants, feeding GHS, SHS, and all that. I think that's a drain. When I say drain, I'm not saying it's a waste, but that's a lot on the GETFund, account. And we need to find a way to resolve this. GETFund can't do everything. There are over 1,001 schools in this country, 1,001 millions of kids in this country. Even if you're feeding one for just 1 million Ghana cedis and you have 3 million, that's how much in a month or in a week and all that. So it is a lot of...
What's the incentive for government to want to take over the mission schools or to want to hybridly?
As a matter of fact, at the time we took over, it was necessary for government because then at the time government did not have control over any of the schools. The schools were also not willing to do an expansive admission of students. They were also focusing a lot on their if you have to be a church member in order to gain access and all that. And government actually wanted to roll out the educational reform from the O level to A level, and government needed them. Yes, it's needed. But today we have 1,001 of those schools in the system. And government has also put up several of those. And so we should be able to come to a conclusion and say, hey, the reality is that take up your schools, we'll still pay the salaries, we'll still support you with the support we can. Then we can focus on the smaller ones to grow. Already, we do have a class system already, where we have the class A schools, the grade A schools, grade B, grade C, and all that. So what are we talking about? We are doing it. Yeah. What we are avoiding, the class system, we already have it there. Yeah. So I am saying that the schools that have come of age, that have very strong alumni, that have very strong PTA, should be allowed to go on their feet. Government will still support them, but not in the quantum that we are spending today. Another thing I want the government to do is the homegrown, campus agri support. Many years ago in Presec, when I went to Presec in 1997, we used to have a poultry farm, and we used to have a piggery, and then we had some maize farms there for the agri students who were into that period, that process. And every Sunday, I mean, at least twice a week, we had eggs, on our table. Not because government had to go and find the money to provide it, but because the school itself had a system to produce some of those eggs and the chicken and all that. And it was fun. And therefore, that burden would have been taken away from government. So we need to find a way of supporting many of these schools. They all have enough infrastructure, enough land to run some of these programs. And they are all running agri programs. So why don't we give them hands-on education, allow the agri ministry to support them, and have this homegrown, food, sustenance, at least on campus. Yeah. The last thing I want government to do is that we need to develop, for me, if you ask me, we need to develop a system that allows us to monitor how many kids are in the e-school. You see, we rely on the teachers, the lecturers, or the headmasters to produce for us the figures of those in those campuses. It will shock you that if you go and do audit today, some of those figures are not real. It will shock you. I'm waiting for the day that we'll do an audit of how many people are in each school and who are on the government, payroll, and it will shock you. We have systems where matrons are beginning to, take away valuables that are for students.
But what do you think is the incentive for governments not allowing the schools that have been asking for autonomy all this while?
Well, I think we just need a bold step. We just need to engage many of these schools, missions, and see the way forward. We need a fair balance.
What's the possible fear?
No, the possible fear is that they take it and they price everybody out of the market, and they still go back to their own ways. Oh, okay. Number two, the infrastructure on their campuses right now largely is owned by government. Largely. I mean, those days they had their own systems.
Can't government see it as a form of subsidy in the?
That is why I want an authority to manage that, that whole process. An authority that will manage the elite schools. I mean, every country you go to, there are elite schools. There are schools that are preserved for a certain grooming, a certain agenda, a certain, training of your young people and human development. And I'm not saying that we should neglect the weaker ones. I'm saying that let these ones that are on their feet alone already be on their feet. But the other ones that are weaker, that don't even have fence wall around their buildings, that don't even have, the right infrastructure, desk, some even are suffering from bed bugs and all that you see in our systems be taken care of. And that can be taken care of when you have major funding approach to them. And the major funding will happen if you seed off some of the expenditure from the big ones, and then you can bring up the weaker ones. I think that we need to have a proper conversation on this matter when it comes to education. Otherwise, we are in circles. Okay. And, under the MPP, people went on strike, school will be closed down, they say somebody has stolen something, it's happening again, and it's a human system. One of the ways to fix is to crack the whip now. And once that is done, I'm sure we can make progress, going forward. Okay.
Well, it's good to see you. How have you been?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Your beard is growing longer and
This is why my voice is really...
Oh, I'm sorry. You should have had some tea coming.
Sure, after the program.
So we've been talking, I wonder...
Did you go to shout somewhere? You said it's lost.
No. I think
somebody...
Cold?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were in...
I actually thought somebody overnight person.
You didn't go to the
But
Cocoa
how
farm.
does somebody present
I didn't
his
go to
But when you can sleep and
I didn't go to the Cocoa farm. Where I wanted to be with a voice is tomorrow at Sunyani East, where we will have the Yensure Hunehuna demonstration. So it will be led by our national organizer, Nana B, and Baba Amando, the communication officer.
Is he advertising the room?
Yes.
Has he paid for
it? So it will be tomorrow. So it's where I want the voice, so that at least I will be able to...
Not the Cocoa farm.
The government is trying to really cow us to submission. They want to intimidate us. And we will not be really intimidated. So tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Who is talking?
Wanda.
No, who is talking?
Oh, wow.
Wanda hosting. Please. Okay, so we're hoping that you have your voice to be able to be part of that
so that I will be
protest.
part of that program.
Protest.
Tomorrow,
Okay, okay.
You don't let people be pressing your name.
Anyway, so I mean, because you joined us quite late, I like to think you've been following the conversation.
Yes.
So there have been different opinions here. Lawyer here thinks that if parents can support, why not? Let's just allow them to support in the running of the schools, or maybe basically for feeding. Hobson, who's been a teacher for years, has been drawing our attention to the challenges that can brew from that.
Yeah.
Wanda on the other side says that we've got to be radical in some of the decisions that we've been taking. Some of the decisions we took years ago, of course, mirrored our thinking, but today, does this still mirror our thinking? What's your position? And this is on the backdrop of the fact that GETFund has released the funds to pay for the arrears of the perishable goods that suppliers have been asking for.
Thank you so much, and good morning to our cherished viewers, and thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been a while on this platform. I think I got only the fact end of Hobson's submission, which I think he was just rightly on point. But I think Wanda really confused the conversation, especially in terms of the topic that you gave us. This is not the traditional school feeding in basic school. This is school feeding in the senior high school. And you ask yourself, how did we get here? That's very important.
What would be the difference?
The difference are that the basic school is under the Ministry for Gender and Social Protection.
Still
and
government,
that is also being supported by a different budget altogether.
But still under government.
There are no issues there. No, I'm saying that the issues we're having today is about CHAS, Conference of Assistant Senior High School, saying that if they do not get the funding to continue feeding the children, they will close down our senior high schools. Hobson said that, yes, it has been a challenge that has been with us for some time now, but I think what he's referring to is around 2015, 2016, when subventions to senior high school in the north, before the free senior high school, that's when you even see them close down senior high schools because government has not sent subventions. Now, when we took over and started the free senior high school, we were using monies from the ABFA, our oil share of the money, to do that. And we were doing centralized. The disbursement was done centralized. What we do is that before the opening of the senior high school, we give them 20 to 30% of the entire amount of money for the schools to prepare for the students to come. Then buffer stock will send them food from the central. They will send them all the perishables and all the food items, about 18 items to them, so that they will be able to feed them. So this is how we were really running the senior high school feeding, which is a different thing altogether that started in 2017. Now, during the campaign period, President Mahama said that they needed sustainable means of funding for the free senior high school, so that at least they will be able to feed them. They said we're not feeding them well and so on. And he said headmasters will be given the entire money so that they will even shift from buffer stock. You remember the video is there.
What triggered this conversation? Would it not be the CHAS?
No, I'm coming. So what happened was that when they came in 2025, they said they will do that. They will give the monies to the senior high schools so that they will buy the food, so that they will be able to really depart from where the food is centralized from Accra to almost all the institutions. And when they started that in 2025 early, it was near chaos, because at a point in time, they couldn't even get monies to pay for those who were doing the day schools and so on.
Okay,
so then in 2028, I'm coming.
I need some education.
This year, 2026, they said they will uncap GETFund.
Yes.
So that they will get sustainable funding, you remember. And they gave them 4.2. So today, I listened to even the education minister and almost all those who speak for them. They said, it is not really about the money is not there, because there is 4.2 billion budget for the feeding in the senior high schools. But it's about how disbursement is done. That is the reason when they had the stakeholder meeting, Haruna Idrisu ordered the GETFund administrator to pay them. Then he said he can also pay them because it is governed by trustees. You understand? It is the trustees who will order for that thing to be done. If he does that on an order of the minister, he will really breach the PFMA.
Which I think, is not a major issue. It's just a process cleanup. It's not, the money is there. So if the process is what is making it difficult,
the challenge is that I'm saying that initially, when we're doing it for the entire 8 years, we were supplying directly. Then
were you supplying directly?
Yes,
you were supplying. Buffer stock was the one supplying.
Supplying directly.
What was the challenge? Why did we now have to start dealing with a new process?
It was a campaign promise. When you check the NDC manifesto, I'm saying that.
Was it not
no, in the NDC manifesto. In the NDC manifesto.
Are you in any way suggesting that the headmasters didn't want to be? They said that
the headmasters wanted, even our time, they wanted to take control of everything. Then we said no. What we'll do is that when the school is reopening, we'll give you a percentage of the amount of money you will receive so that you'll be able to buy the perishables within your catchment area. There is a video of President Mahama when he said that when I come, you go to Techimai Market, the headmaster will go to Techimai Market and buy and so. So that is the reason why we are today.
Are we in any way saying that the headmasters didn't even need to be the ones buying the perishable, but because the president made it a campaign promise and so that's it?
Yes, that's it.
Because then I'm confused in my mind because I've had series of interviews with Charles at the time, late last 2024, when they had concerns that it is a lot easier to be the ones purchasing the perishables. So why are we making it sided?
That is what I'm saying
now.
When we even started the implementation of free senior high school, the challenge is that headmasters wanted to take absolute control of the feeding, which we said no. You understand? We said we'll do the supply through buffer stock. And that was all we've been doing. So yes, they were not really in support of getting only some 30% to 40%. At a point in time, we even had to scale it up to about 50%. Then buffer stock will really supply the food to them. Today, the challenge is that for the past 6 months, GETFund that is now saying that, well, we're departing from the old system where you will supply the food, but GETFund will pay the monies to the accounts of the senior high schools so that they will do that. Since October, GETFund had not been able to do that. And we're told there's money. But what is the challenge? If it's really, the money is sitting there and it has been budgeted for, right?
Yeah.
It has been budgeted for. This year, when you read the budget, they said 4.2 billion from GETFund should be sent to them. Now, for 6 months, they have not been paid. And that's the reason they are saying that. They have not been paid, and the suppliers are also chasing them. So they needed that money to be able to keep the schools going.
Is this to suggest that when buffer stock was doing it, there was never an omen? Like
you cannot say that there was never a problem.
Because
but you see, that would have been a meeting with Minister of Education, GETFund, and so on. It will only be between the Agri Minister, the finance minister, and the release of funds.
There would have been a stakeholder engagement anyway. Isn't the character
what even happened at that time is that people are even giving contracts to supply the food. You understand? So the challenge will be their payments with GETFund, even with buffer stock. You remember you had to really interview a lot of them around 2024, 2023, saying that they had supplied to the schools. But unfortunately, their monies has not been paid at GETFund. So the challenge will have been the suppliers and buffer stock. It will have been the suppliers and buffer stock, and not headmasters crying out to say that we have not really received this, the food items, and we have not received.
So why do you think that the submission by Wanda?
Yes, Wanda was doing basic school. He was talking about.
Are you really on this program?
No.
When I was mentioning schools like Prempeh College, they mentioned the mission schools. Are they? What are they?
These are food that really will only supplement what they.
What are you talking about?
But I'm saying that the government in starting free senior high school.
But in any
we were not discussing free SHS in the first place.
That's what we're discussing.
No.
Then you didn't see the topic.
Hang
you Charles, who are Charles? Conference of which topic did you give me?
Hang on. Both of you. What's the difference if the approach government uses to want to feed students in SHS and the approach government wants to use to feed basic schools? What's their approach?
No,
That's one thing.
It is two different.
I see it's two different things, but let's not pretend that the resource is not coming from the same government.
No, you see, let me put you. What you understand is that one is that in the basic school, someone is given the contract to feed the students, and an amount of money is earmarked for that amount of for that feeding. And that money is coming from school feeding secretariat, which is at the Ministry for Gender and Social Protection. The topic you gave us
along
today,
with me. Come along. There's no deviation. Stay with me, because maybe you missed out at a point. I'm saying that even if, let's just say, he's staying on the secondary schools, he's saying that why are we having this conversation? It's because we're asking for a dedicated funding to be able to.
It is not, because you see, the government has said that now they have a dedicated funding. They have uncapped GETFund, and that fund is doing that.
Let me hear.
It is.
Let me hear.
Our is confusing us.
I am not.
Next time come.
The thing is that.
No. You have to understand the topic you are given. That's very important.
He said that he was going to go a bit radical on the suggestions for government.
You know, when it comes to education,
let me hear you.
I understand.
I'm also a teacher.
Yeah, it's not.
How do you understand better than me, a teacher? I have been trained as a teacher, and I've taught as a teacher before in the senior high school.
You know, when I was not president
in the senior high school as well.
When I was.
How many years did you?
Whatever be the case.
No, hold on. Let me address.
3 years.
Let me address our. You know very well that when it comes to education issues in this country, at least I have been at the forefront of student governance. And you know, I know you not today. You and I knew each other way back in 2008.
Yes.
And that 2008, 2009, I was president of the National Organized Students. Yes. At that time, the school feeding had only been introduced 3 years
before. That was for the basic school.
No, just hold on. And I'm saying that throughout my presentation, I did not even mention any basic school.
No. The trajectory of your conversation.
What? Which part of it? Should I see consultation from the lawyer?
Even the basic school, I mentioned basic school when President Akufo introduced school
I talked about the mission schools taking over. I talked about pre-sec. I even mentioned
there's no correlation.
That's the way they can support. Can you listen?
There's no correlation.
Yes.
There's no correlation between secondary schools that he's discussing, that government should give it to give the autonomy to the mission schools.
Yes.
Why?
Right.
How?
Because you see, the thing is that now government-assisted senior high schools almost all the mission schools are government-assisted senior high schools. Government gives them subventions, do everything. Now the mission schools are saying that give it back to us, which is a different conversation altogether. Has nothing to do with the day back.
But if an institution, for example, school, if an institution decides to want to have autonomy, they will not be running to government for food.
Let me. Let me.
This is a responsibility of government to feed them because of a program.
The what?
Government has started a program. The program is that we will feed you, give you.
Are you in any way suggesting that if government said that I'm so rich, I can pay for students to buy food or whatever, I'll feed students, and then schools are saying that they want to have autonomy to be able to feed students? You're saying that because government says that they have money.
It didn't even come in at all, because this is.
Let me hear Wanda. Let me hear you.
Don't let our confuse our view.
Wanda, what's the confusion?
The topic and the discourse, which I try to address, was for me the burden on government less. I stated that government was paying electricity bills, water bill, paying teachers' salaries, at the same time taking care of infrastructure. Then they have to take care of feeding grant. I talked about bed syndrome, boarding house system. I talked about the school's expansion. I talked about the fact that there are many of the schools that have infrastructure to be an agri hub to support government expenditure in terms of feeding and all that. So you come on the show, you were even late. At least you would have been patient.
I was given a topic.
The issue is.
But he has said this. Are you okay with the
submission? Not to condemn what I was saying.
Do you have
because I didn't go into any of those.
Does it put it in context?
Finally, what is key? What's key for me is that education is provided in an environment of quality, also in an environment of good access, and finally, equity. For me, that's where I belong.
Okay.
And whatever government would do to bring this to the level appreciable for a developing country is what I advocate for. Finally, if you look at our educational setup and how we have run this country all over, education, health, these two have been a very huge constraint on government budgets. And also the leaking basket, because none of them generate enough revenue, unlike the other sectors. For instance, transport, just harbors alone is taking care of those issues. You go to energy, they are also a revenue generation institution. But if you go to health and education, the two are actually an expenditure unit. And that is why if you really, really want to have the best of management, then you have to pay attention to them. The leakages must stop. You must also spend wisely, and you must know where to spend and how to spend. Even in the US, that they are very rich. Not every school is given to people free. There are some of the schools you have to pay for full tuition, and others are available where you can go and government support you over there. That's where I think that the debate must be. So that we're not just doing something that is out of political convenience. One government comes in and just have introduced free SHS. How the free SHS is sustained, nobody cares, nobody knows. They introduced free SHS. Ask him if till today they have had a regular funding support for the free SHS, apart from going for the oil funds. Apart from going for the oil funds, what was the?
But when we promised to do free senior high school,
what was the funding?
We promised that we use the oil fund to do it.
That is not the funding.
And what is that?
That is not the funding for free SHS.
What is that?
Because what you went to touch
the entire 7 billion we spent on free senior high school was from oil fund.
And I'm saying that oil fund.
What's the problem with
that oil fund was already for a purpose. But number one,
so it means they have to create an entire new fund.
If they have to, they should, because what they have done is to deplete the funds. And where is it? How is it? Are we replenishing?
That's not correct.
But in Ghana, how
that's not correct. Read the Petroleum Management Act.
Finally.
When you look at the ABFA in itself, it has been categorized into education, support to education, support to health, and support to infrastructure.
And we use that component. Those are investment funds.
We use that component.
Those are investment funds. You don't need to
support them.
Okay.
Those were investment funds. Those funds was
for politics,
not for your political.
But for politics, it wouldn't have been where we are today. Schools wouldn't have been threatening to close down because if they had used the status quo. The status quo is that the food is being distributed from central.
So all this conversation is not about availability of funds. It's just a status quo of who purchases or who buys or what.
Exactly.
But we have been they paid. So what's the problem now?
But it has not hit the account.
Sorry, come on.
Where our is is very slippery. Are you getting it? Emefa, we were in this country. When
are you also going to another slippery?
No. Listen. When Buffer stock supply rise to schools, and we found out that the whole consignment was expired.
That's not correct. That's not correct.
What are you talking about?
These were allegations by the NDC. They couldn't prove it.
Look at it.
What are you talking about? Look at it. They said we had done this.
Head teachers were confirming that yes.
Which headmaster?
Please.
Tell me any story.
Please.
I want to make progress to other issues. I just...
You see, I brought in this because of how...
Lawyer. Yes. The way lawyer is very compared. There are a few things that Wanda proposed.
Yes.
What could be the challenge for a government, and this will be, you have the final bite on this, what could be the challenge for a government to want to give autonomy to the schools that want to manage their own schools, take full capacity of their schools? What could be?
I think the demerits of that was also mentioned by Wanda, that some of these missions and others may outprice some of the students and get them out of the schools. And I, for example, I have to admit that there are some schools which were known as elite schools in the past. I will not mention names, but they are still... Of course, I also went at Achimota.
Yeah, so mention percent.
But and Achimota, for example, has a very strong old student body and can easily manage the school by itself.
Exactly.
However, with government getting involved, I think the gates were opened a bit wider for students who ordinarily would not have had admission to those schools. So I suppose that with what the governments may suffer is if they give total autonomy, then we may have only the old student bodies or the missions restricting it to only those of their faith, or only those of their societal bracket. So it should be a partnership so that we all merge, because the whole idea behind our education system, right from Osagyefo time, and especially the boarding school system, was for us to cohabit from the different parts of Ghana to become a melting pot for us to move forward in unity. So as much as I agree we should give increased autonomy to the missions and the old students' bodies, it shouldn't be total autonomy. The government should still have that oversight so that it doesn't become restrictive and
one of the ways is to still leave placement in the House of Government, like they do the school placement. That's the posting.
Yes.
Yours is to run the school.
Yes.
The government still sends the students to you. In fact, even the government
that's why it will defeat the purpose of what you are proposing.
No, it should be balanced.
Are you getting it? It will defeat the purpose of your proposal.
No, what you are saying...
if you are giving it to them, allow them to do their own admission.
The government has invested as well.
It means that your presec and his Achimota. Are you getting it?
What happens
if you can you go there.
It will be
is that not it?
Very expensive.
If you can pay, you go there. If you cannot pay, you go to government assistance.
Okay, so that's true, but the point I'm trying to put across is that you are trying to avoid they having their own clique of admissions, and you want to play fair. You want people from...
Does it not happen already?
Yeah, so from under other... that are not...
No, wonder. Your proposal means that they should take off from... government should not spread.
My producer went to this and shouted my ears. Okay, let's have one meeting.
In the House of Government.
The nuances of this, you have called for a proper and a robust conversation on this, right? I mean, people like me and as well, a gentleman who has been able to find my number and be sending messages on the show, Master Planner, Master Planner, well, I hope he is, at least his messages, you know him. Yeah. He says that he's happy that at least because of the WASI that candidates about to take, we're happy that there's some stability. We're happy that there's funds that have been released and that at least we're asking that a more robust and sustainable way comes up. Okay. Let's talk about energy. Sorry?
Which one? You gave him a first number.
I'm still investigating how that number got.
I know him,
by the way. Okay, let's talk about the energy sector. In government's bid to want to relieve us Caucasian Ghanaians, you know that 2 Ghana cedi fuel on diesel has been reduced, 36 pesos for petrol. People do not understand the calculation because they would have thought that they will see it. They're leaving out the conversation that the prices of petrol were already rising. So it's not that you're going to see it like this, but you've been cushioned. But who is taking the hit? Question has come up. For example, Boss says that it's losing up to 40 million a month. Yeah. The minority on a tour yesterday was saying that, well, we see that the margins are, Boss would have to now take up the hit of 40 million a month. In fact, if we do a bigger calculation of how much we would be losing annually, it's quite huge. But they're asking that this 1 Ghana cedi levy, the minority is still quite fixated on that 1 Ghana cedi, says that we should reduce it. I want to start with you, Hobson. In government's bid to want to cushion us, is this a hit we're likely to face later again? The consequences of this decision?
So, minority is calling for a support for Boss, right? And at the same time, they want the 1 cedi levy removed. Is that the case?
Yes, that's it.
So where is Boss going to get the support from?
They have their margins.
Which margins?
The 9 pesos.
Now you are calling for a relief for Ghanaians. You are saying that the increase is too harsh. So government should do something about it. Government says, no problem. Once you are calling for, I will heed to your call. So I decided to do some skirmishes and then bring the prices down. At least 36 pesos and then the 2 cedis. I mean, government is going to lose, but it decided to do that. Heeding to your call, and you are turning back to say what? How is he going to support the boss? First, you are calling that they should reduce the prices. So I'm confused whether minority is doing this genuinely or out of political gimmicks. I can't get them. Emefa, the release or the relief is for just 4 weeks. 1 month. Government said they should do this for 1 month. After that, either they will restore or will continue. Or maybe it may go down further. So after the 1 month, that will get to know. The moment this thing is done, and you are saying boss is going to lose about 40 million Ghana cedis
a month
for that month, that period, 40 million Ghana cedis. Yes, that 40 million Ghana cedis to boss is for government to use. Or it's for government to use.
It's actually for government.
And those who...
It will not impacting on their operations at all? They themselves are saying that the 40 million would they're taking a hit for it.
If it will impact on their operations, what about the larger population? We are calling for a relief for the larger population. When Awa was coming, he bought fuel. Didn't you buy? Yeah, you bought fuel. So it needs that release to be able to be coming to join news every Tuesday. But if it's too expensive, then he's not able to buy this thing. He will just remember, I'm not feeling well. It's a lie.
No, but the guy has shown you that when he's unwell, he'll still come. He's feeling poorly, but he's here.
Because he was able to buy the fuel, he was able to come.
No,
if he cannot buy...
I couldn't buy to go to Kumasi.
He's actually flying to Sunyani.
But will you get to buy to go to Sunyani?
I use public transport to Kumasi.
But will you get to buy to go to Sunyani?
I will join Nana.
But who says that the...
And I mean he's going to buy fuel. And government is pushing us. So he can put the tank and the fuel. And they are flying. That one, nobody is going to drive. All those going from Accra. That day, if you want to go to Sunyani, make sure you buy your ticket now. Either than that, they will charter it, you will not get. Sunyani to the flight goes there once a day. So this is...
So you think that,
an alert?
40 billion, but it's not something that should keep us...
this is government agency. Are you getting it? So
when government is absorbing something, is it exclusive to them? We are the government, no? Will we not?
Oh yeah, but I'm saying that, Emefa, you need to be able to buy fuel to come to work. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
You used to fill your tank maybe 1,000 cedis. And now, if you want to fill the tank, maybe you need 1,500. Government need to cushion you. Are you getting it? So cushioning me is best than having boss getting money. That who told you that?
What do you anticipate will be the trickling effect of the energy sector, the role that boss plays in an energy sector, and the impact of it on the chain?
No, we are not going to lose so much. For just 1 month, 40 million, I don't think it will collapse boss. Are you getting it? It will also put us in our feet so that at the end of the 4 weeks, government may revert. Boss will continue taking the 40 million to run. Are you getting it?
Okay.
You see, all these things, when you go into their expenditure, you see that this is the time for them to do proper expenditure. If you are going to buy pen, and we all know pen is, let's say, 1 cedi, then you go and buy pen 10 cedis. This time that you are not getting the 40 million, you buy the pen 1 cedi. Are you getting it? So in a way, I'm not saying that they should, cripple the agency. No. But they should also think about Ghanaians, that they are using their sacrifices for the entire population to also benefit from this kind of hardship that Trump and co has brought to the world. So for me, I would say that the minority call, I don't see the head and tail of it.
Okay.
Either they are just doing this kind of political gimmick, or they just want to score cheap propaganda.
Okay.
Other than that,
so Wanda,
Oh, me.
The 40 million is real?
No,
it's not just a number, it's a real amount of money. Hobson doesn't think that it will bring a very major hit.
Some 444 million liters of fuel if the margins were the same across board. Truth is that, yes, the boss taking this hit, if it takes longer, may cause some challenges. But we are happy that this is a 1 month window. We are also hopeful that prices will begin to see a downward trend if the so-called disturbance in the Middle East is managed properly. It would have been better off. In fact, for the last few days, it was coming down until yesterday when Trump made a statement and the Iran guys also responded, and then it started going up again. So it's a momentary issue. It's something that would go away pretty soon. That's one. Number two, every company, every institution, every governance structure should have a system of savings. And so BOST overnight losing 40 million won't be the reason why BOST will collapse. As a matter of fact, we have done the figures and it looks as though it's something they can bear. Yes, it's a loss, but it's something they can bear to the bigger expense, at the larger expense of Ghanaians, so that we can continue to do our job and the economy will not grind to a halt. Inflation won't be on the ascendancy, because once you increase fuel prices, you are likely talking about inflation and all that. We don't want to see 54% inflation, again, buy food today, tomorrow, or come back a few hours and the prices have changed. That we don't want to do. So this is a more realistic way of giving back to Ghanaians than sharing free food, than sharing free water, than sharing the things we saw under the supposed COVID and Ukraine war. Look, Ukraine...
Was COVID Ukraine the supposed one? Or it's
but they said both the two incidents crashed the economy. That's what they said. And then they weren't sharing water, they weren't sharing food.
But today, Ukraine and
they are still fighting.
US.
Are you aware that Ukraine is still fighting? US has joined, but the economy is still not grounded to a halt.
But it's
so we're doing very well.
To cushion Ghanaians, has it not?
Say that again.
But it's forced you to also cushion Ghanaians.
And that's why I'm saying we're doing it more responsibly.
No, today.
See, we're doing it more responsibly. This one is not the one that you finish and there's a scandal. Oh, this one took the food. I didn't get any food. This one embezzled money. This one, no, this is not cash in somebody's hands to go and, contracting their wives and girlfriends to come and cook and all that. No, this is directly to the Ghanaians at the pump. Everybody enjoys it. Not the case where you say, I'm giving free water. And then
people
a year after,
Ghanaians didn't enjoy it.
But a year after, they increased prices and said that that was what...
What's the price of petrol ever?
Now, are you aware that Ukraine...
The water, we paid back.
Our income,
are you aware?
It's even better than...
Are you aware? Mm-hmm. Are you aware that the Ukraine and Russia war is still ongoing?
Yes.
And still we haven't heard of the crashing of our economy. So if you're a bad manager of the economy, you're a bad manager. But I want to do,
But is it not the global economy that's readjusted?
Adjusted who?
Sorry?
Adjusted
why the global economy has not adjusted?
Adjusted by who?
Are you kidding me? The global economy has not adjusted at all?
As in what? I don't understand what you mean by adjusted. They adjusted, did they crumble? Did they go to 54%? Were they losing jobs?
Yes.
Did that happen?
Yes.
So Cote
d'Ivoire inflation.
Yeah, inflation.
It was just a poor management of the
at Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes, from 2 to 7.
2 to 7. You
left,
you left from 1854 and you are talking about the Cote d'Ivoire.
Ours too was
at what rate? They grew 5.7. You were growing what?
11.
They grew 5.7. You were growing what? They grew 5.7 in the same period. Cote d'Ivoire grew 5.7. Ghana was growing at what rate? 0.1. And you are talking about...
they did not 5.7.
What figures do you have? You can cross-check it. But you see, I think that this is a more responsible way of managing the economy. The president has done a good job by allowing the BOST margins to go, a few other margins to go, and we are giving Ghanaians back some 2 cedis. I think it's a momentary issue. It's not going to last. It's not going to be forever. And it's a better way of managing the economy than, just going out there to give freebies to friends and families in the name of we're giving relief to Ghanaians. This is a better relief because this then transcends into transport costs, it transcends into food transportation, it transcends into even human transportation, and that we all know is the basis for which our inflation spirals. So for me, I think it's a better way of handling it than the usual freebies.
Okay. Awal, let me hear you.
Emefa, during the COVID time, Joy FM gave out food during that period. So it means that time the food was very necessary because there were people who were doing hand-to-mouth every day, and there is a closed.
We're discussing
and the entire country was closed, especially Kumasi and Accra. So you needed to feed people. That's why Joy FM, as a private institution, fed people, and government also complement that and did that. That is one. Two is that you are a development analyst.
Yes.
You understand that when there is a disruption in global supply chain, it comes with its disruption within some few period. Then there will be an adjustment, as Emefa was trying to draw your attention to. Today,
don't mind.
Yeah, I know that he knows. No, he's only trying to do propaganda.
I'm only saying
today,
that
we don't even buy from
Iran.
We don't buy anything from Iran, but it is impacting on us. We buy from Rotterdam, especially our fuel. You understand the finished product? We don't buy from them. But you see, when there is global supply, when there's chain,
Russia is still on.
That is well on.
Do they have separate?
But you understand
prices?
that indeed there is an adjustment that has been done, and that adjustment is what we
Rotterdam and Iran. Do they have separate?
No, I'm going to respond to that.
Do they have separate prices?
So on this, Emefa, are you sure that indeed the government reduced 2 cedis and 37 pesos? Are you really sure? Check the first window of 1st April. The amount of money, the price floor was 17.1 and 13.3. That was the price floor for 1st of April. Now, government announced 2 cedis reduction. We're expecting to see it at 15.1 instead of 16.1. So ideally, it is 1 cedi that this government has reduced from diesel. On petrol, it was 13.3 as the price floor. Then they reduced only 3 pesos, and now it is 13.27.
Where are you quoting from?
There's so many figures. Take it easy on me with the figures.
Okay.
Slow down. Yeah.
So when you check in the first window, which is 1st April, you can just quote. I know for you here, I know you. That's why I am factual always. So it is 17.1. That is the price floor that NPA released for diesel in the first quarter. That is on 1st April. Now they said this petrol was 13.3. The second window, which is on the 15th, was 16th. Then government announced that they will reduce 2 cedis on diesel and 37 pesos on petrol. So if really the price floor is 17.1, right, the reduction should be 15.1.
Really?
You understand? Because you have reduced it. Again, diesel, petrol, which is 13.3. When you say you have reduced 37 pesos, it shouldn't be 13.
But we know that this reduction was on. It's not directly on.
What is even saying is completely out of the equation. Listen, if I introduce prices on the 1st at a certain price on the 1st, it is based on the market dynamics, right?
Yes.
By the 15th, if I'm doing the next one, it will still be based on the market dynamics. Okay. Before the deductions.
So before the government
it's really never
announced,
on there.
What was the price? What was the crude oil price?
Before it's not about crude price, because I met ADG. No, I'm coming. I met ADG on TV3, and he told us that we don't buy crude. He said we buy it in metric tons.
We don't buy. We buy finished product. The finished product is a product of crude. So the prices change.
Okay, so
what are you talking about?
Don't interrupt.
That's just to assume that everything was stable.
What you're doing is
no. When you lie,
I didn't lie. Before a day before.
One that look on your.
I mean, when you say something wrong,
one that look on your way.
A day before. I just want a day before. Edwigi Tamakulu's MPA released price floor of 16.1 before Felix announced the 2 cedis reduction.
So you expected the 2 cedi to have been on the 16.1?
On the 16, because that is the price floor. That was released a day before. You understand? So let's leave that one. Then we come to the margins that has been removed. It is really strange that this government will go into bust margin. Why will you go to bust margin? When you have 1 cedi Dumsow levy, the margins for bust is for a purpose. It is for the maintenance of their depots across the country. It is for them to make sure that there is constant supply in the depots. So when you want to take something out, even COPEC said that you have 1 cedi, which is the Dumsow levy. You could do 50% of that. How much is the bust margin? 12 pesos. You have 1 cedi somewhere, sitting somewhere, where you can even scrap the entire 1 cedi and will still be fine. Then you decide to go and touch bust. I mean, do you understand? You have 1 cedi. The industry players, the watchers, including COPEC, is saying that don't touch any of the margins. Take 50% of even the 1 cedi Dumsow levy, and you'll still be fine. You can cross-check. That is what COPEC is saying. You understand? So why will you still keep the 1 cedi on and still take the 12 pesos from bust when you could reduce even that 12 pesos from the 1 cedi? Because you see, that 1 cedi...
This 40 million, that bust will be taking the hit. Why are we pretending as though it has no direct or indirect impact on government?
You see, it has direct impact on the job they do. I listened to the deputy CEO for bust.
It's now the duty of the government to now ensure that this 40 million does not cripple bust, or because then what's the difference? Because when they now take off the 1 Ghana cedi, and then they are
when you check the margins, when you check the margins and the taxes, they have specific role they play on the build-up. And it is also statutory. It is also statutory that if
the 1 Ghana cedi has a specific role.
Pay legacy debt and then
we were paying 95 pesos on the payment of legacy debt already. Check the 1 cedi. It is not an introduction. It is an amendment of the ESLA. The ESLA was 95.
Still doesn't change the constant. The constant is that then you do whether 91. Yes. I'm attacking the assertion that the margins were for specific things, and I'm saying that whether 90 or 1 Ghana cedi, it is also for specific.
The 1 cedi, as we speak right now, they have not even rendered account.
That's the second.
But you see, you discussed it here. You see,
they didn't come prepared. No.
Are they really prepared for this?
I'm with him. I'm with him. That is a conversation we can invite.
Exactly. They said they will even do that after 3 months. When they were introducing it, the first thing they said is that money specifically will go into the purchase of fuel. For electricity and to support ESLA in the payment of these legacy debt, right? Now, I'm saying that experts within the value chain are saying that instead of touching something that is meager, that is also used in the operations of the fuel, touch the one that will really not hurt you. We are of the view that even if you take the 1 cedi entirely, it will not affect government. The reason being that Akufo-Addo told us that we are really we are fetching water with a basket if we really want to support ECG to pay off all their debts, because 40% of all the entire operations goes on which they are not able to even collect it. We will have to fix the problem with ECG, not for...
Until then, how do you keep the light on?
BDS. We kept the light on without the 1 cedi. For 8 years.
But
without the 1
cedi. 90, but without... What amount was there for that specific margin that you're talking about?
The ESLA?
Yes.
It was 95 pesos. That is the biggest.
What were you?
That was the biggest on the petrol build-up. When you check the petrol build-up,
95 pesos for
to pay the legacy debts, and that's specifically.
And you used it. You kept the light on at the time.
Yes, we kept the light on for 8 years without Dumsow levy.
Emefa.
Yes.
It is a fact that since Kwame Nkrumah's time,
yes,
the only time Otumfuo, the overlord of Ashanti Kingdom,
yes,
made a complaint of Dumsow was during your time.
Which one?
True or false?
That is false. That is false. Because you see, in this country, in the 8 years, I am on the floor. So let me finish. Why will I hold on? Why will I hold on? Why will I hold on?
Emefa gave me the permission.
Emefa. In the entire 8 years of administration, when was the last time you saw Dumsow was under them?
But respect to Otumfuo. There was public knowledge of Dumsow during the NDC era.
So he should not say they kept the light on. He should not say that.
Tell us which period.
You said you kept the light on for 8 years. It is not true.
We didn't do wrong.
It is not true.
It is shed load.
Do you remember?
It's not true. When did we shed load?
Napo's comments when the people asked accountable? What
yes, right.
Yes.
Napo, first of all, I don't think he ever believed there was Dumsow. He said it's Dumsiesi.
Yes.
Or if he wasn't
that's what they are doing today. Yes, that's what they are doing today. That is true. That is true because he says we have switched off. That time we were installing the bulk storage at Pokwasi.
I thought you kept the light.
That was the time. You understand? We were installing this bulk storage facility over there. So
nobody told us that if you want a roadmap for
Dumsow. As energy minister at the time, he didn't believe there was Dumsow. Why were you?
It's not about believing.
I am saying that. The period we were talking about Dumsow, did you hear Otumfuo complaining? Did you hear that?
Because it was just something
public knowledge. He did.
That's what.
Will you have to complain?
That's what.
It is today that we are complaining because we bequeath to you
the real issue.
Yes, the real
One Ghana city.
Emefa, let's settle this. Let's settle this.
What's the challenge? Yeah.
When we started naming Dumsow 2015, 2016.
Which is 2015. Started 2014.
Yo, let's take it 2012.
It was 3 years.
Let's take it from 2012 to 2016. That we were saying Dumsow. We never in this country had Otumfuo complaining.
Yes, because
you wait. I'm coming.
So when they give you timetable, what will you complain?
Then comes ad administration.
And I'm saying that why would Otumfuo complain about something that's obvious?
But
he didn't have to.
It was strange within the period
because they were denying.
Take your time.
The existence of Dumsow.
Which year was that?
In the NPP era.
Yes, and
which year?
No. Tell us 2022 when Napo was at the Ministry of Energy.
The Dumsiesi was in
it's not about Dumsiesi. Stop it.
When he said we were switching it off to be able to really do some maintenance work.
But I've spoken to Roxanne a number of times. I've been livid about power outages in Adenta. He tells me that they are replacing transformers.
No, so I can tell you about
And I'm saying that this one was not a replacement of what? Or Dumsiesi. What they say Dumsiesi, they put it off maybe 6 hours or 10 hours.
But that was what we did.
That.
In the entire 8 years, have you had anyone go for 12 hours off?
I'm telling you that you are not superhuman.
I am
keep
the one talking.
You two keep quiet and listen.
No, I'm not the one talking.
Let me
questions.
Oh no, let me conclude my statement.
No,
I am saying that.
I
am saying that.
I'm just talking for
Emefa.
Yes.
Dumsow will come when we say they put off the light. Maybe the next 30 minutes they switch it on. Next 45 minutes they put it off. And that was what Otumfuo was complaining about. That his food in the fridge has even got spoiled. His fridges and everything. Okay. So this is the only period under your administration. Don't come here and then be whitewashing this kind of thing.
What really does Dumsiesi really mean? When there's no light, there's no light.
So in the last 3 months, even today, when you check the daily graphic, there is a timetable on places that will go off. And their excuse is that they are installing some generators, some transformers.
You think it is an excuse, but for you is valid to say that you were turning off to CAC something. What's the difference?
I'm saying that is what they are saying today.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that in the entire period that we came, between 2017 and 2024.
Which page in the daily graphic?
They do it every day, so I will just check. And no, you check. But I'm saying that they've been doing it in the last 3 months, and this is something that is there. You understand? They do it because they think that they are really doing the CAC. And I told you that in the entire 8 years of administration, we never shed lights. The only time you saw these things were when they were doing the maintenance work, which is normal and routine.
The reason why I'm struggling to come along with all of you on this matter is that every time, and lawyer, forgive me, I'll come to you. Every time, government in, government out, there's been one consistent. ECG will say that it is as a result of debt that already exists. So debt has been rolling over. Debt has been rolling over. How are we trying to absorb ourselves from that constant problem that you find across government and say that, well, for my time, na me CACA, but for another time, it was Dumsow?
You see, the time we called it Dumsow was when they will announce that you will go for 24 hours.
Only when there's a load shed,
yes,
when there's a timetable.
Yes,
when there's a
timetable and there is load shedding.
Okay.
That you go for 12 hours.
So if there's a timetable as well for plant maintenance, is it Dumsow?
No, it's not.
Okay.
That's why this one, we're not crying that there is Dumsow all over. We are saying it is even worse in Kumasi. There is no single weekend that I go to.
So let's go back to the point. So you think that that one Ghana cedi that you're collecting with the intention that it is to stabilize the power sector, that one Ghana cedi, regardless, is not even doing anything. So they should take away that one Ghana cedi.
We
maintain
the
boss
minority is saying that maintain the boss margin, which is 12. Even if you want to even take 12%.
In fact, I don't think it is only bust margin that has been hit.
That's what I'm saying. That.
So is it only bust or you want all?
Yeah, we are not saying that. We are saying that don't touch any margin.
Just go to the one Ghana cedi.
There is one cedi.
The one cedi. Do you want it removed permanently? Temporarily?
Permanently, because we believe that.
So when the light off.
Yes, but we kept the light on without Dumsow. Ghana has been having stable electricity.
So what do we do
without the Dumsow?
You saw the apology from the ECG managing director, who says that it is because of what a debt that ECG has been dealing with. What do you recommend we?
I don't recommend anything because this government told us the pathway to really getting out of this.
Okay, let me hear.
They told us.
It's okay. Let me hear.
No, I'm talking about the energy minister setting up a committee as early as April 2025. That they will look at how they were able to fix the challenges at ECG.
But I recall that the current energy minister has renegotiated
what have they done?
Some of the
I did not fix it.
What have they done? What have they done?
There's been some renegotiations of the IPP.
But that is not a problem because the problem has to
all of it culminates.
No, the problem ECG has today has to do with technical losses and commercial losses. You can reduce the commercial losses because they said they send when they sell the light, they are only able to get only 60% of the
from generation from grid core, even the transmission to they also record some
why are they getting?
Do they not?
They do.
Why are they getting?
They do. You see, the losses are even internationally.
Okay.
How are they getting only 60?
I want to hear.
That's what Akufo-Addo said.
No.
This is what Akufo-Addo said.
It's not because of Hapten.
Which Hapten?
Those who collect and then give you. You see, these people.
Hapten is no longer for
let the company tell you how a country should manage.
You keep quiet.
Allow a company protege tell you how a country should manage.
In all honesty, I would say that I understand where the minority is coming from. You know, they are. It's more like an emotional or a compassionate call that Ghanaians need some relief. However, we have to be realistic. And one of the reasons the minority gave is that the one cedi levy was to clear the energy sector debt of $1.47 billion, which was cleared in December 2025.
Yes.
You see?
That is what we heard. They said they have cleared it.
Yes. But you know, this issue that we are having with fuel and electricity, it's a long-running thing. The one cedi levy, it did work. We cleared the energy sector debt. But now we have this issue in the Middle East. It's a very volatile situation. And the government has to maintain a very delicate balance between having the needed income from this revenue and also sacrificing in various sectors. I always say that governance is like holding sometimes like holding a ball or a balloon under a swimming pool. You cannot hold it forever. Occasionally it will come up. It's just like that. So I think that the one cedi levy should not be scrapped. We managed to tighten our belts. And now the government is also giving some relief. That maybe open your belt by just 1%. one whole. But taking away this 1 cedi is like removing your belt, and then another time, government has to come up with another policy that will come as a shock to us. That is why it is called fiscal discipline. It's a discipline. But you see, we have come along. We have come along.
Even
with
sunset clause.
Allow him.
You see, and this
No,
one,
just to help him.
and this 1 cedi levy. I've read at some place that this 1 cedi levy is able to generate about 5 to 6 billion.
5.7 billion.
5.7 Ghana billion a year, whereas the boss 40 million cedis a month. Assuming it was even to go for the whole year, that was what 400. That's about 10% of what we will gain. So I think that
are we in any way suggesting that when the government says that they're collecting levies to stabilize the power sector, the government is legally bound by that decision and cannot use that funding for other critical areas or what?
Emefa,
it's not even clear.
When you discuss discipline, so there is a certain prudence that must be added to the discourse. You see, even if I have, as a country, we have like maybe 4 cedi margin we can take off. It's straight, foolishness to want to take all that at a go, because you will crash. You don't even know how long the escalation of the war is going to be in the first place. And so if you take it now, maybe after 1 month, everything is gone. And it's gone, you still would have to find a way to give further cushion. And that's what we're doing before, the deregulation. The deregulation was such that sometimes government were selling at the pump lower than we should actually sell. And government has to carry cash to give to the BDCs in order for them to sell. It was crumbling the economy. Things were getting out of hand. And we came to a consensus that, let's introduce a system where I only set the floor price, you go, add your margins, so we can control the
floor price,
the price. So we introduced the deregulated market. And so government intervenes. There are few levies you have to pay, and we know. Now, to go back and say, remove it, it's like telling us that the deregulation shouldn't work any longer. Everybody should do what they want to do. That would be chaotic. And that is the kind of standard we don't want to get to. You should watch people manage the economy in a manner that it doesn't falter. Because the faltering of this economy will be grave on all of us. And now what is causing even this Dumsow that they are even talking about? The business of the Dumsow, part of it is the rehabilitation of our transformers. As of yesterday, 2,500 transformers have been taken around the country. 500 was sent to the northern enclave where we have NEDCO to install. Now, a lot of things are also happening. The road projects happening are also part of the reasons why we're having some of these Dumsow. For instance, those who live in Adenta, from Adenta to Dodowa to Boom, road is being constructed, dual carriage, 4 lanes here, 4 lanes here. They are relocating, even we had water challenge at the point, they are relocating, commercial
legacy project.
We're relocating commercial water ways or water, what's the name? The pipelines underneath. The high tension is also being replaced.
Technicalities. There are many people watching who are like me who do not understand. All they want is light on.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been reading an article and a plan by. So Energy Ministry rolls out 8-month plan to stabilize electricity supply.
Yes.
I like to think that Ghanaians have endured a certain level of power instability for a while. If after 18 months we're still here, then we can have this conversation because they've put a timeline.
Obviously, we can have this conversation
and all of that.
What I'm saying is that let's use this studio as an example. You, Brace, and we're running the show with the producers. Then you introduce another presenter, standby presenter. Now there is an issue here. Who do you sacrifice? The standby presenter, not the technical producer, because if you're not careful, you cripple that way. That's
analogy.
what we're saying.
The analogy confused you.
Yes, okay, so what we're saying is that
bring it home.
Boss margins started in 2011.
What's your worry?
And the bust margin is that they are supposed to make sure that the fuel get to every depot.
And MBB is the last person to want to give us an advice on the economy, please.
You understand? They are supposed to, they are supposed to maintain our assets.
You remember?
Now, after that, now you have introduced something.
You knew all this and flow was selling at 18 Ghana cedis under your tenure.
Industry players are saying that don't touch any margin. Touch the 1 cedi that you have introduced. Even if you take 50 pesos,
all margin be margin.
It's better than taking the 12 cedis, because when you take that 1 cedi, it goes outside of
now. Who doesn't know that the MPP was never in support of this levy? Who doesn't know?
Again, when you look at the even ESLA, it has sunset clause. This one doesn't have any sunset clause. So we are paying it till the kingdom come. Why?
Did you not introduce a COVID levy without a sunset clause?
Moving Pina. Do you remember the name Moving Pina?
Moving Pina.
You don't remember?
Yes.
Yeah. Emefa, you don't
Contaminated fuel.
You see,
we have moving Pina, we have walking Pina, running Pina, and the rest.
I'm happy that he has even brought this one.
Please.
Even in the oral report.
Sorry, but
even in the oral report.
Wait. It is a story. Let him tell.
You see, all these Pina thing, they don't collapse bust. Are you getting it? Check the values. They did not collapse bust.
What is moving Pina then? What is that?
Please keep quiet.
Yeah, remind us what is moving.
Yes. He's aware.
I am not.
I want to know.
What I know is different from what you're talking about.
What I want to know.
Moving
yes, what I
have you forgotten about the contaminated fuel?
He's saying that even when fuel in the tank of bus.
You know how much we dispose of through that.
So who is standing trial today for that?
You see.
Those are very important.
These are some of the statements that put their leaders into trouble. So you are saying that you are drawing their attention. So if AG is listening, then they should go into it.
Was contaminated fuel. Who is standing trial? That's a good question.
It is not also in the oral report. It's not even in the oral report.
You wait and see.
The fact that a criminal is walking about means that he is clean. That's what it means.
But you promised something.
That you have not been
Operation Recover All Loot
court yet. So it means
which is now full of garbage, according to those who the work.
We see.
I want to. So let's be guided on this discourse.
Democracy and
even the boss margin that they asked that we shouldn't touch
demonstration.
It's still going to hit government.
And that's why I've been trying to draw my attention. The conversation.
But there's a pretense.
Why are we pretending that the 40 million does not affect government?
Exactly. There's a pretense with the MPP's request.
The operations of BOST.
The pretense is that when we were introducing the 1 Ghana cedi, they actually worked out of parliament. They were not. Yes. So it's not new. You are not saying anything new. It's not like those some novel idea.
But must be
part of 1 cedi can pushing boss.
Must be new before we must demand. But
part of 1 cedi
before they must.
Part of 1 cedi can pushing boss.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I want to hear what you're saying.
Why not? I'm saying that must be new before they can attack it.
No, so I'm saying that.
But how do you say that? What were you saying?
They cannot use that 1 cedi to cushion bust because that
were you still using COVID levy to solve COVID levy?
That's right.
That's why I asked the question here,
COVID
lawyer.
Levy did not have
if a tax, and this is where if there's a tax that we're collecting some specific tax for a particular purpose. As I understand taxation.
Yes.
Are we saying that the government's hand is tied when there's the need to use that fund for something else? It cannot. Is that it?
It cannot.
Is that it?
Yes, that is
I want to know the
that
position of the law.
That is it. It cannot. The only thing is that is why the capping came. When we took over, it was
I'm asking the lawyer.
Yeah, but
I'm asking the lawyer. Hang on.
They capped on.
No, capping came.
What was capped?
You cap for your interest. Capping came.
Because I keep hearing that's the case that it cannot be used for.
No, it's not entirely the case.
This is a lawyer talking, so keep quiet for the lawyer to answer.
Actually,
when I was trying to answer, when I was also
energy-related issues can be used.
I'm talking governance, and I can give.
I agree. I'll come to.
I was also giving the same answer.
I said I want to hear from a lawyer.
You want to hear from a lawyer?
Well, legally,
you cannot.
You cannot. But of course, when it comes to governance, there are all kinds of flexibilities that come into play.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so the same thing I wanted to say that there have been times in this country, in fact, even for them to go for the funds that was meant from oil was actually one of the things that also broke the rules. That fund was not for education.
It is for education.
There is
a component for education.
Listen,
because it was an investment, it was not.
Fund.
What was the intended?
What was the purpose? Sending students to school is not an investment.
What was the investment for? Don't lower it.
The fund was not put together to support education.
The investment.
What happened was that they went to Parliament under the cloak of granting them the authority to touch that fund. And that's why they
How did we enter Parliament?
Can you please listen to me?
Because
the fund was not meant for that purpose. And I gave an example earlier that even when GETFund was put together, it was not meant for even private schools. When President Akufo bought buses for private schools, it was a big issue. They had to quickly go to Parliament to review the act.
GETFund initially for tertiary
education.
So
and to spread it across.
To support secondary
so
schools.
Where there is emergency, the president has the authority to run to Parliament.
Infrastructure.
To run to Parliament. You didn't come prepared today, so everything is about who? It's all over.
Well, the viewers will know who came prepared or not.
So you can go to Parliament.
Speaking about the bush in almost all.
It's not like the door is shut that you can't do anything.
Why is it that you don't make the conversation very interesting?
It's all of you. It's all of you. Let's go to the other.
So Emefa, you can actually go to Parliament
and seek
approval to touch a certain fund, even though it's not for that purpose.
Yeah, because I get the impression that because we said 1 Ghana cedi was for fuel, there's no sunset clause, there are challenges. Even when we raise enough funds and the government will need that fund, because we passed a law that
you have to go back to Parliament.
But what's the difficulty? Because there's a
you have to go to Parliament.
And I'm saying that
you are not stopped from using it.
It's not difficult at all.
And I'm saying that everything has processes, but it's not as though it's cast in stone.
Exactly, that's what I've been trying to say, that because of governance.
In fact, that's what I've been trying to draw attention to. But anyway, so the former vice president and the NPP's presidential candidate says that, in fact, the Daily Guide put it quite right. Says
Daily
that,
Guide.
yeah.
Daily Guide.
Says that intimidation can't break NPP. Bawumia to government, and the story is on page 3. The flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mamadou Bawumia, has accused the governing National Democratic Congress of fostering an atmosphere of fear and using the state security institutions to suppress dissent, declaring that intimidation will not silence the opposition. The intimidation can never break us, and that's the quote. Dr. Bawumia says, striking a defiant tone as he urged party communicators to remain firm and outspoken in defense of democratic principles. Speaking at the residence, I think I was telling people where he said this. Well, not a lot of people have read the full story. What is your flag bearer saying?
Yes, you see, when you check from 2025, when this government took over, there is a calculated attempt to really intimidate us and get people to stop speaking in this country. Because if you check the number of people who were arrested for posting things on Facebook for only speeches that they had made, as I speak right now, none of that case has been resolved to say that indeed that happened. Again, we are not in the era of criminal libel law, the time when a journalist or anyone else could be hauled like a criminal to really be sent to the police station and the court to be jailed for his speech. Sir Obama posted pictures on his Facebook page. He was arrested, detained. At a point in time when we even secured bail for him, we were told the police officer who was supposed to really get him the bail had traveled, so he couldn't get the bail. He had to sleep for another day. Again, the things that Baba Amando posted on Facebook, they are only just like the pictures that he only changed, because these are pictures that has been on Facebook in 2024 with Dr. Bawumia, with Akufo-Addo, and everyone with that LGBT sign. We were in this country when Malik Basintali said it publicly that Dr. Bawumia is a pork eater. We were in this country. I was in a mosque in Asin Praso when the MP for New Edubiase stood there to say that if they vote for the MPP candidate in that by-elections, we will introduce LGBTQ in this country. He was not arrested. He was not done. Nothing happened to him. So now Baba Amando just posted picture of the pictures that Jifagunu, Yaira Koku, and the other social media communicators of the NDC posted between 2022 and 2024, who were not even invited for anything. And you arrest him for that. After the arrest, you send him to, from Sunyani, you even invited him. He got to Sunyani police station. What is my crime? He went there in the company of his lawyer. What is my crime? He said, it is above them. It is Accra that asked them to arrest him. He was brought to Accra. We got bail for him. In the morning, prosecution went to the court and told the court that indeed they were doing forensics of his Facebook page. So they do not need him in custody. Then the judge says, I need him in custody. Look at Abronye. What happened to him? To the extent that the judge could tell us that we are not even equal before the law. That same judge has been promoted. He's now a circuit court judge. So you could tell that indeed there is a calculated attempt to pack the courts so that they will be able to really silence us. And we cannot be silenced in the face of all these things. Because you see, if I make any libelous statement, you don't arrest me with the police. The lawyer is here. You sue me so that I go to court to really say, to really prove. If I post something that you think I have posted something which is libelous, you don't arrest me. Why will you arrest me with the police? Sue me that indeed I have injured your reputation. A lawyer said in this country in 2023, 2024, Isana Nankuma said, even if you insult the president, you cannot be arrested.
I did not.
And what has Baba Amondo done? By posting only pictures that depicts that this government is now implementing the LGBTQ in this country. Because you see, in the 2024 elections...
Is that what the post said? That this government is now implementing?
He posted a picture of President Mahama, Sam George, Felix, when they said that the LGBTQ is not their priority. So he posted that picture that they used with the LGBT colors against Akufo-Addo, Baumia Jifagunu, Yaira Koku, Ejuji Tamakulu, and others. They did that for Baumia and Akufo-Addo. We never arrested them. We never invited them. But someone post something, and you think, even in this case, you know there was no complainant. Interesting. There was not even complainant in the Amando. Yes, in the Amando case, there was no complainant. So you want to use the police to intimidate us. What happened in Akotia? When your first vice chairman said if he had met Afenyo Markins, he will cause a by-election in his constituency. Abuako North communication officer said he was waiting to see Nanabi so that they will finish them. What happened to them? They were not even arrested.
Okay, you have put clarity to what the your flag bearer is saying. Wanda.
No, I mean, the MPP, listening to them lately, it causes you to worry.
Why?
Whether this is all about governance. I thought that the opposition should teach them a little bit of lesson to make policy proposals and not this comparison. Now, he wants to talk to us today about harassment of journalists and all that. I mean, the list goes on and on.
We didn't mention we said our people.
People even paid their dear lives.
We said our people.
Have you forgotten about Ahmed Swali? What he went through? Vomawa, you know what he went through? Erastus Asaidonko, you know what they went through?
But I thought you were
those were not people.
You were just telling me you're not happy about some comparison.
That's why I'm saying that it is that low level kind of politicking.
Are you going there? Okay. So you're not going there?
No, I'm not going to go there. It hurts me because I felt we should be making progress. Are you by this telling me that what the Baba Amando guy did is okay? Is that the standard he's preaching this morning to Ghanaians? That, Baba Amando takes the president's picture, takes other ministers of state's picture, paint them in a manner that is uncalled for. And you're okay with that? Is that what he's preaching?
I said, sue him.
And I keep saying that.
Yes, sue him. If you think he has injured anyone, sue him.
I keep saying, when you were talking, I was very quiet. So
no,
I keep
you
saying
weren't.
I keep saying that one of the ways we can help this country as young people is to have values, have integrity, stand for something. Don't make comparisons and tell me, and somebody did this in the past, this one did it in the past, so once it's happening today, it's all right.
So if it's, but I think his major concern is the arrest, the mode of arrest, how we're tuning the.
Don't forget that the police is not NDC, NDC is not police. Same excuse they gave in the past when all those people were harassed and some died. They told us that the police is an autonomous body. So it's the creation of the Constitution.
In this matter, let me in. We want to learn. On what grounds was he arrested for?
Who was arrested?
Baba Mando. Let's start from the easiest one.
You spoke to the police.
He
did what?
You spoke to the police. I don't speak for the police. You spoke to the police. I don't speak for the police.
No, he's not. But I mean, the kind of crime you're arrested under is we have to compare it to see if this is defamatory. Then I don't know. We're just trying to learn.
We are the same people preaching our governance to be clean, fair, and based on rule of law. Now, if the police does something in excess, there is procedure. If the military does anything in your
telescopic look, in your telescopic look,
yes,
how is it looking for you? Before I speak to the police,
what is looking?
They arrest. Do you think it was SS or not?
Emefa, why am I the one passing judgment on the police? I don't speak for the police.
No, but you're able
to the fact.
No, but you're able to separate yourself from the fact. I want to hear your opinion.
You won't push me there because I'm not privy to the fact.
Okay.
And I'm not. This is a criminal issue.
But he just gave you the
once
fact.
it's a police involved, I understand at least basically that it's a criminal issue. I won't prejudice the outcome of the police investigation. Whatever of the sort. But what I do know is that there are excesses. I mean, we have all seen excesses, and I'm not going to sit here and mention the excesses of the police, the military, and the other security agencies in that respect. But that cannot overnight be the fact that it was the NDC government or it's John Mahama, and then we are intimidating them and all that. You see, they say if you live in glass houses, you don't bother about throwing stones. Walk clean. Because when you do some of these things, you bring trouble on your own.
To which?
Did the police go about arresting everybody all over the place? Or by some specific people?
Okay.
And for what they have done. So you want your right to be preserved. You also owe it an obligation to respect the rules of engagement. Okay. And so if you go against the rule and you are arrested, don't politicize it. And they say they are going to. Why don't you do your demonstration in Accra? What are you going to do in Kumasi?
Because the person who was arrested is our communication officer in that constituency.
Again, we're getting too low with the kind of politics that the MPP is offering us in opposition. We need criticisms that are constructive. We need criticisms that are based on law, and we also need criticisms that are based on offerings of suggestive, alternatives to governance.
Hobson, I'm coming to you, but quickly. Hobson, I'm coming to you quickly. What are his charges? Are you able to? What have you seen a copy of his charge?
He doesn't know.
If he's been bailed, then it means he's been charged with certain offense.
Yes.
So you don't know.
He doesn't know.
But if you don't know, then it means that the police arrested because he's committed a crime. They believe strongly he's committed a crime.
Who said this?
Who are they?
Look for the charge sheet and stop.
Look for it.
He wasn't quiet.
You come, I'll just look for the charge sheet.
Okay.
But what I'm saying,
can you imagine? You've been talking all this while as though you had the facts.
No, but you said that.
There's a lawyer in the studio, please.
But you said that you're not privy to the facts.
I'm not privy to speak. I was very honest. I was very privy.
But I allowed you to speak.
You were not even supposed to speak.
He pretended as though he knew the facts. And when you
but I knew the facts. I told you why he was arrested. How he was arrested.
But we don't discuss facts. We don't discuss facts in legality. What are the issues? What are his charge now?
The charge is.
You said you were not privy.
No, I said it is against the things that he has posted on Facebook.
That's just like
yes, is that called a charge?
I'll get it for you.
Is that called a charge?
Okay. Yo, thank you. Emefa, in terms of democratic governance, it's undeniable fact that NDC government has done better than the MPP government.
Thank you.
It's
but
if Bawumia says democracy is under attack, it should point to us the provisions of the Constitution that has been violated by this government. Which of the provisions? So you can't just get up and say democracy is under attack.
That is not fair. Now, is Bawumia supporting this kind of indiscipline in society? Look, we all have freedom to speak. Emefa, the Constitution has given you powers as a media person to speak your mind. If you like, sit here and say that Ghana police, this is an example, so don't take it as a I'm begging you. And say that, oh, from this studio, I will overthrow government and see whether you have a freedom. If you like, say that and see whether you have a freedom. But the Constitution says we all have freedom of speech. But you make that statement and then tell me that you have your freedom. And let's see. There are certain things we should not entertain it at all in the society. How can you dress a president? Then we sit here and then, support it. Look, between 2017 and 2024, Ghana experienced several notable incidents of harassment and arrest.
Between
2017 and 2024.
Yep.
2019, your notable ones. 2 journalists from modern Ghana, Emmanuel Ajafo and Emmanuel Britum, were arrested by national security. In fact, one of them were tied with chain, slapped and tortured during the interrogation.
And you were not happy with it, were you?
The charge sheet is what we asked for.
Where I'm coming.
Charge sheet.
This is why he did.
2020, the year 2020, one David Tamaku, he's a managing editor of WhatsApp newspaper. Say he did some story. He was arrested, detained. I was one of the people who were making noise for him to be released. 2020.
Why? Why were you making noise for him to be released? What he did was good or bad?
I mean, a journalist doing a story, then you arrest him. He was there, it seems the second day or third day. Are you getting it? I mean, he did that, a bail. So we have to do that. The same 2020, Kofi-Addo, your own colleague Kofi-Addo, he was then the news editor at Angel FM. Do you know why he was arrested? He was arrested because President was about to give a State of the Nation or so. And he said, these are some of the things President is going to say. He was saying it that this is what is going to happen. And truly, it happened. They arrested him. That he should come and show how he got to know what President was going to say. I mean, what kind of this is this? And today, you are here defending what?
Which one is similar to?
I'm coming. 2020.
I'm asking which one is similar to Baba Ahmad?
The crimes are not supposed to be similar, are they? Because they're different. There are different situations that I will charge.
Don't allow him to come in. In 2022, Noah Dame, the deputy station coordinator for Radio Adan, you remember that issue? He was tortured.
By who?
Is it not by government? I'm telling you about arrest.
Which government?
MPP government. 2022, who was president? Oh, it
Radio
was.
Adan's
Please.
Okay.
Please keep quiet.
Okay, I'm just waiting to see where we're headed because
they arrested him for false publication. False publication. You are here saying what? 2023, a radio presenter was physically assaulted and removed from studios.
What's his name?
I'll give you the name. For criticizing officer. It happened in this country. In this country. Look, President of Ghana Journalists Association said between 2019 and 2023, 45 attacks on journalists in this country.
Which of the presidents? This
one, who was speaking? 2024, who was speaking? Who was the president?
2019 to 2023.
And then you were saying this in 2024.
Yes, because
what he's talking about. You mean GJA president?
Yes. GJA president. He was saying this in 2024. So you know who was the president in 2024. And he was saying that between 2019 to 2023, 45 attacks on journalists. You are here saying what? Look.
That's not even correct.
Oliver Baka-Vomo, leader of Fix the Country. You are here. Is Baba Mando better than Oliver?
He said he would coup. He was arrested because of coup.
It is not.
He wrote
No. What I'm saying is not.
You even did your preamble with the coup issue. You said
what I'm saying is not.
Organize a coup.
It was just.
He was arrested because of the coup.
Yeah.
He was arrested because he said.
Listen to what I'm saying.
He wrote it on Facebook.
Listen
that
to
there should be a coup d'etat.
Said fix the country.
A leader of Fix the Country movement was arrested, alleging assault and illegal detention after criticizing government on social media. Criticism, it's not.
It's not.
I am giving you.
Go beyond the headline.
We went beyond and went to see what the criticism was on government.
No, but the
read that.
What?
We cannot be a critic.
I mean, this is why that matter went to court because of the. I'm not dilly-dallying, but
Vomo has been arrested for
number 3.
Yes.
2024, over 100 people, primary opposition supporters, were brutalized in this country.
At where?
In this country.
It's just you reading from a prepared speech without giving us sources.
I mean, these can verify. If you have
100 people where?
If you have...
He said 100 people. Where?
Good question.
Go to Google. Get it.
What is Google?
I mean,
I can write.
Google is our.
I can write stories.
Google is our.
No, for Google, I can write stories.
Google is not our. Come on.
Google is our.
Okay. No, Google must have a source.
If arrested Baba Mando, when you go to Google, won't you see it? Won't you see Baba Mando?
There will be a source to that story.
Oh, please.
Even on Google, there is a source.
What we can do is we can
take out that 100 one
because you've not objected to
I am saying politics is not true.
So I take it out of the.
I am looking at political and active arrest.
Hoping. So Wanda says that. Why go back to the past?
Wait. Let me give you the chronology of events. And then ask Dr. Bawumia whether he was in this country. At that time, democracy was not under attack. Look at the number of cases that I am mentioning now. How many people have been arrested?
I can tell you the reasons why they were all arrested.
My old friend Abronye. My own friend.
Let's start with Amando's reasons first.
I'm coming.
Yes.
So
Amando, they said publication.
Let him land.
My own friend Abronye was arrested. In fact, I was not happy. But what can I do? It's because of what he said. The allegations and other things. Are you getting it? So when you do that and then you get arrested, doesn't mean democracy is under attack.
Okay.
That's why I was telling you initially that you have freedom of speech, but you cannot sit here and make certain statements and go free. Okay. That one is a fact. Lawyer is here. You advise us on that.
Okay.
I cannot sit here and then make wild allegation without any reason and then I say, oh, because I have freedom to speak, I mean,
the man is still looking for the charge.
Okay, let me go to the lawyer. It's only fair.
No, publication.
My
lawyer can. Yes, he was arrested because of publication of false news. But June 4, in February 2025, said journalists were arrested. 7 journalists were arrested just within 50 days of the government.
It's not true.
And
that's not true. 45.
Over 45 cases.
This is a story. Ghanaian Times.
Over 45 cases.
February 20.
I'm interested in other legs of this
7
as well. Let me.
Unprecedented in the history of this country, according to June 4.
I don't know if you have cited.
In 2025, he said in 50 days, 7 journalists were attacked.
Let's make progress.
More than that. 45.
Let's come to class.
Which 45 were?
The man is looking for
we're in class now.
No, but I told you.
But we're in class.
I told you what is it.
I have seen excerpts of the charge sheet, not the physical.
Okay.
And apparently he's been charged with, number 1, offensive conduct conducive to the breach of the peace. That was the first one. offensive conduct conducive to the breach of the peace. And the second charge is publishing false information intended to cause fear.
I think that's Section 2.
Yes. So those are the two that he has been charged with. And if you look at the post itself, it's, I think, 4 pictures with the LGBT colors and wigs. And the inscription at the top, them and the society. And under these two charges, we have the
first one is offensive conduct to
conducive to the
conducive. Okay, and the second one is?
And the second one is publication of false information.
Okay. Okay. These two, are they all under? Are they all criminal charges?
They are. The first one is under Section 207 of the Criminal Offences Act.
Okay.
And the second one is under Section 208, also of the Criminal Offences Act.
Yeah.
And Section 76 of the Electronic Communications Act, 2008, Act 775.
Okay.
So, in a nutshell, you have to determine whether what Baba Amando did falls under
Section 207,
yes,
208, 76 of the Electronic Communications
exactly.
Act.
Whether what he wrote was offensive and may likely lead to a breach of the peace. And also whether what he wrote was false. You see, some have made the argument that it is satire. You understand me? In a democracy, satire is allowed.
Yes.
You know, I mean, there's one cartoonist I enjoy very much, Tilapia.
Tilapia.
And Akosua.
You see, a lot of them, they draw things, you know what they are
Now
talking
Tilapia
about.
don't even write about.
You know what they are talking about.
Yes.
But
Tilapia has stopped.
But when it comes to
his party is
adding that inscription, them and the society, then there's a prima facie, or let's say on the surface assumption or an accusation that you are saying that those 4 people have something to do with a certain society. So I believe that those pictures without the inscription probably would not have amounted to much. But by writing them and the society, it gives an inference that the 4 individuals there have something to do with a certain society, whether LGBT or the other. And we all know in Ghana how the LGBT issue is such a sensitive issue. You understand me? Be that as it may, another provision we should keep in mind is Section 73 of the Courts Act, Act 459.
Okay.
Which states that a misdemeanor can be settled. You understand me? What he's been charged with, 207, 208, and the other one, they are all misdemeanors. You understand me? So as much as they are serious offenses, they are not considered to be in the bracket of offenses that are felonies. You see? But that still does not stop him from being arrested. Many people have been arrested, gone through trial for many years, and have been found to be innocent. It does not mean that the police did wrong in arresting them. Of course, we can say that he being a politically exposed person, people may read meaning into it. However, from my point of view, I don't think that the arrest was wrong. I also don't think that the court did anything wrong. The court granted him bail, 30,000 Ghana cedis.
He didn't grant bail.
Oh, I said 30,000.
No, you see, the first court that he was sent to, prosecution said, we don't need him in custody. But the court said his discretion he will send him to custody.
That's our. While we know that offences are available, there's a certain level of discretion as well.
Then he gave him 2 weeks. Then we went to court to challenge that remand.
Then he got it, right?
He got the 30.
So he was remanded.
Yes, he was remanded for 2 weeks.
And then but eventually he's out 30,000.
But first and foremost, let's put something in perspective. What he said is blatant lie.
Which one?
The prosecution never said that they are not interested. The thing was that the defense team moved the motion, and the prosecution did not object or did not say anything. Why? But to say that,
you were not in court. Afenyo-Markins was in court. He was our lead lawyer, and he came to say that indeed. I'm saying that. We are
listen to me?
All talking.
Why are you listening to
I didn't listen to him. Why would I listen?
You don't even know the fact of the matter.
So why should people listen to him?
No. Wait, both of you. Yes. Court proceedings are verifiable. This is
exactly.
It's not some secret.
But when you tell me it's a lie, when our lead lawyer,
your wife against his.
It is our lead lawyer who spoke to Joy FM. There's a video here. Our lead lawyer spoke to you.
Hang on. I respect that. I'll close the show.
Don't close the show because they're walking out.
I'm saying
it's better you walk to the lie. If Afenyo-Markins lie.
No, I am saying that what Wanda is saying, I mean, we can really verify. Is this true or not? And I'm telling you that I'm not believing any of you.
The prosecution
I am going to find the source, and I'll call
and I told you that our lead counsel was in court. That is why he told Joy
News to believe in who spoke. I said I don't believe any of them. Going to the court rules.
Yes, if I could add something.
Yes.
I think I saw something about. I think Honorable Bafui
exactly.
He spoke about it. But the thing is, as a legal practitioner, there are many times I have proposed bail. The prosecution has not been opposed, but the court has exercised its
discretion
to still hold the person.
So then what is a lie?
So it doesn't really.
No, so he said that the prosecution said they don't want to listen. The lie he said was that the prosecution said they were not interested. They don't want him in custody.
Yes.
When did the prosecution make that point?
Different from
who said the same thing.
Please.
No, but that's different.
I hate trying to distort the facts.
You know this.
The prosecution.
That is what Bafo was
said.
So that's different from you telling us that the opposition said they don't want him in custody.
So
and the judge went
ahead. At least the lawyer has been able to put this into context, because you hear a lot of people say that what did he do? What did he do? Sometimes
let me read the act for you.
We're done with it. We're done.
Let me just read the
section of 29.
Let me read the section 207.
Listen, harassment. I am a living testimony. They arrested me because I said something on radio. They put me to cell.
What's something?
And then took me
What's something?
What's
something?
Why would you say the same?
I have been going to court over 1 year.
Let me just
read this. The government discontinued the case. These people, they are here talking about freedom.
Section 207.
What did he say?
Listen. What did he say? Section 207 of the Criminal Offences Act 29 says that a person commits an offence of publication of false is. But if the person publishes or reproduce any statement, rumor, or report which is false and which is likely to cause fear and alarm to the public or disturb public peace, knowing it to be false or without reasonable grounds.
So which means that the prosecution has the duty to now prove how this can amount to what?
The key element is publication, falsity of the information, likelihood to cause fear and panic, and then the mens rea. But let's go to the 208. 208
says elements for that.
Communication of false. Communication of false news. It says a person who communicates any false statement, rumor, or report to another person, which is likely to cause fear and alarm, knowing it to be false, or without reasonable grounds for believing it to be true. What is
how can that fear picture cause fear and alarm?
The law is not the law is not even.
When we're in government, we didn't cause fear and panic.
Ladies and gentlemen, class is over. There's a big duty on the prosecutors to now prove all of these elements.
What are they afraid? They say they are going for a demonstration.
So
tomorrow.
We are saying that
we're demonstrating tomorrow.
Baumia is saying.
Yes.
I mean, former Vice President.
Yes.
Dr. Alhaji Baumia.
Yes.
Mahamudu.
Yes.
I mean, we cannot take it.
It's the decision of the viewers.
No, not the decision.
No, that's you segment, but stay with me. There's more on the show. Lawyer, it's a pleasure having you back. Awal, I see your beard is going a lot taller. Yeah, Awal, it's always a pleasure. And Hobson, also always a pleasure.
Don't go there.
Wow, they say that I'm biased towards you. I don't know. I think
because it's in opposition.
The way he has been
Emefa feels is struggling.
The way she has been pampering him.
Every time MPP will be accusing me that you people, I will not answer you yet. Anyway, Wanda, thank you so much. Stop being a wonderful sinister man. Thank you so much. There's more on the show. Please stay.
Let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park. Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park. Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown crane, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults? This price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
You guys are ready for what's about to happen? Only on Joy Prime Television. All right. Listen. Okay. Yeah. Hey, my name is MC Kofi Darlington. Out here, my sister, the guy is quick. Giving the rappers the platform to show their flow. They go blow. Beats and bars to the hardest thing. You get past spit up, the baddest thing. This with the mic, make me see the fire. No darling, cause we know the tire.
Stage necessity. Mike and I are ready. What a rap, I'll be so now you will rap. Beats and bars. You get bars, shall I say?
Yo.
This is not just rap.
This is not just lyrics. This is war on the mic. Yes, you're welcome to Beats and Bars, the ultimate community rap show, live on Joy Prime Television. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we bring rappers from your community to show us what they've got.
Two communities, two fellas MCs. I'm the guy, a Queen Sister Stand the Beat. Hey, guy, and I'm doing it with my brother.
Yeah, you know when the queen is on, the king is on. My name is MC Kofi Darlington, the only MC with a sauce to spice it all up. And ladies and gentlemen, Beats and Bars, we say, you get bars, spit up. All right.
Rounds, freestyle, rep your community and brag. You know what I'm saying?
You heard that. You have just 3 rounds to prove yourself as a rapper. Every other Saturday, live on Joy Prime Television. Make sure you sit down, 8 p.m. Join us with some cool drink and enjoy the party, man. Your pong is smelling good. Beats and Bars.
You got bars,
spit down.
Puma Drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
All right, so my name is Daniel Nkrumah. I'm a financial consultant and also the chief steward of the Friends of Purpose in Christ. So the Friends of Purpose in Christ is a group of friends from University of Ghana from 2016 that came together to make impacts. So we have a foundation known as FOPIC Foundation, Friends of Purpose in Christ, FOPIC, FOPIC. So we target children with special needs, and after 2018 we realized that these children are in poor communities. So from 2018 our focus has been in poor communities where we provide them with food, water and other amenities. The motivation is the founders. Most of us grew up from the village. I was born in Chufupraso, and at that time there was no electricity, no water. But when I came to the University of Ghana after school, together with some of my friends, I got inspired to get them together to be able to go back to some of these communities where we grew up from, to be able to make impact or give back to the communities. We've been doing this from 2016. We've gone to more than 10 communities, and each community has a sizable number of people. Most of these communities, we provided them with boreholes. So if you go to our website and our Facebook pages, we have the borehole videos, the commission, the drilling and everything. And some of the communities, we also gave them clothes. So we have what we call used clothes depository, where we go to churches, we go to places and tell them that if you have any used clothes that you don't want to wear again, we gather them. And during the borehole outreach, we share the clothes as well. I think it's a very important initiative to bring out what people are doing out there and also encourage other people to do more, because I'm really much inspired for being interviewed today. I'm thinking of what I can do more. So I think that this initiative is helping people to get inspired to do more.
Thank you for staying with us. Welcome back to the AM show. And it's day 2 of the Dakar International Forum on Peace and Security. Now turns to a key plenary on regional integration and collective security. The session will bring together high-level female voices to explore how African states can better coordinate responses to growing security threats across the continent. And my colleague Adeti is at the forum in Dakar and joins us with a preview Adobia, what are we to expect today? You can give us a wrap of what happened yesterday. Yesterday, you were telling me about how stakeholders have been calling for us moving from rhetoric to action. In fact, the Senegalese president as well has been asking that African countries coordinate in terms of security and technology to at least foresee some security threats. But today, female are taking the center stage, taxing to some action, right? Let me in.
Okay, so a lot has been happening yesterday. A lot has been said yesterday, like you rightly mentioned. Africa wants to have an integrated, Africa, sovereign Africa. But that cannot happen if we're still having issues with peace and security. If people are insecure in their countries, we cannot be together and be sovereign. Yesterday, the president of Senegal, Bassirou Faye, did mention that when wars are happening outside Africa, like maybe in Europe, Asia, the West, America, wherever, Africa shouldn't have to bear the consequence. You don't have to suffer for it. But we do suffer for it because we depend on these people for certain things. But then if we are a sovereign Africa on our own, where all countries in Africa handle their own affairs, we have our own resources and everything, we wouldn't have to be suffering from some of these things that happen outside Africa. But that cannot happen if we still have issues of extremism, terrorism here and there. So then the ECOWAS chairman of authorities of heads of state and government did make a very profound statement everybody's been talking about yesterday. He did say that women should lead the charge in peace building because it comes to them naturally. In view of this, today, at a plenary happening currently, women are taking center stage. They are responding to this particular charge that has been given to them. And I'm going to take you through some of the women we'll be expecting today. We have Ambassador Liberata Mula. She's Special Envoy of the African Union Commission for Women, Peace and Security. She's also former Minister for Foreign Affairs of Tanzania. We have Honorable Memunatu Ibrahima. She's President of the ECOWAS Parliament. She's actually the first woman to be elected to the position on 23rd May 2024. We also have Honorable Monique Mayala. She's Member of Parliament for Chad. We also have Ambassador Fatau Musana. She's Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, ECOWAS. So all of them will be talking, telling us first of all about the contributions they made in peace building in Africa and the plan going forward. So we're expecting to hear very, touching speeches and excellent ideas. And because we've been told yesterday to move from dialogue to actions, I'm sure, they are women, they're strong and they're capable. They're not just going to talk, give us dialogues. There's going to be a concrete plan on how to go about things, how to make sure Africa is safe and peaceful. Because they are women, they are generational thinkers. They're the children. So, I'm sure they have this at heart very much. I'm not saying the men do not, but no one should get me wrong, but you understand what I'm saying, right? So, yes, currently that is happening in the conference room on my left-hand side. So, yes, we're hoping to hear
and it's just so beautiful that it is a woman that is reporting the action plan that women are going to be professing and recommending today. Tell me about your experience so far. How you're feeling? Because you're going to be telling the story from the lens of a woman, are you not? Let me hear you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been feeling good. The only thing that's problematic for me here is the language barrier, but because I know small French, we're trying. And then we have translators to tell us in English what they say in French in their speeches. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to hear what exactly the plan is for women taking charge of peace building, because it looks like the ECOWAS chairman, this is the ECOWAS chairman, he's saying they're going to leave it for women to do, they only collaborate with the women as and when they need them. That's very profound, and it hasn't happened before. So it's interesting to hear this, and I'm really looking forward to something great out of it.
Okay, let's talk about the culture. Anything very similar you have seen? I know that the language is a barrier, but have you tried any new food or anything at all? I can't wait for the gist when you come to Ghana. So let's start the gist here, here.
Of course. Senegalese are also very hospitable, and that's very characteristic of Ghanaians too. So when I got here, it wasn't very new to me. They're very nice people. And some of them almost bow when they want to talk to you. I just thought because we are foreigners. But they do that among themselves, and it's very nice to know. Their food is very tasty. I don't want to come back to Ghana because of the food. But because of the French and the cold weather, I may just come back. I want to see your beautiful face too, so I'll come. But yeah, the people here are nice. They relate with each other and foreigners very nicely. They cook good food. I tasted Senegalese jollof yesterday, but we still have the best jollof. You still have the best jollof.
You still have your passport to come to Ghana. You have done a good verdict anyway. Yeah. So today the action plan is just women discussing how this directive from the ECOWAS chair are thinking that women can best find some solution, right? Or there's something after that?
Yes, there's something after that. That one is not open to the media, but I'm told we'll be giving some information because it's a high-level strategic planning. So after the women tell us their achievements and what they plan on doing going forward, there's going to be a workshop section. That's going to take 6 hours. And it's not open to us press people. We're just going to be doing our online stories and doing our regular reports. But then definitely after that meeting, after those workshops, we're going to get 1 or 2 women to speak to on how their plan is and what we should look forward to. I know they're not going to give us details or a breakdown of what it is they have planned, but definitely they can tell us how hopeful we should be or how it's going to look like going forward. So right after the plenary where we are all invited to attend, the workshop will be closed to us. Then after the workshop, we'll have the closing ceremony and then again. Okay. But I'll bring you and audience up to speed on whatever is happening here.
Just maybe I'll touch base with you at midday bulletin. You're sorely missed. You're doing a good job, but we can't wait to see you. Poma says hi. Yao says hi. Befi ate 4 balls of banku this morning. I need to give you the updates. That's the situation, updates. Yes. Okay, and Kingsley misses you as well. I can't wait to touch base with you. You are a darling. Have a good one. Okay, bye. Right, from Dakar, I'm going to take you to the northern part of Ghana. A growing Dungu community in Tamale is facing a daily struggle for water. Now, residents say even when the rains come, the water does not last. Taps have stopped flowing, wells are not always safe, and many people now spend a large part of their income just to get water. Now, for students living near the university for development studies, the situation is affecting their health, their studies and their daily lives. And our reporter Mahmoud Muhammad Nuruddin has been speaking to residents and experts about what is driving this crisis and what can be done.
My roommate precisely drinking from some of the well water which I warned her from taking, got typhoid, which was severe. Sometimes she would sit down crying. Because of this, she stopped taking sachet waters and she started buying Vortex to just take. And the money too is not there.
When we wash, the dirty water that we use to visit the washroom, because we think that water is safe for us than using the clean water to visit the washroom. And because of this water crisis, I've get typhoid from that. Sometimes you want water, but how to get is another problem.
21-year-old student Abdul Wahab Mariam lives in a hostel near the University for Development Studies. She says many days start without water.
Sometimes you wake up, checking your jars and your basins for water. You won't get water unless you go to your neighbor to ask for water. And sometimes they will not have water unless you go to different persons for water.
Dungu has grown quickly in recent years. Thousands of students now live in the area, but the water system has not grown with the population. Tahiru Al-Hassan, who has lived in the community since 2018, says the taps used to work sometimes, but not anymore.
For the past 4 years now, it has never flowed again. 4 years, it has never flowed. We have no water flowing to our tap, no drop of water from our tap for the past 4 years. Even before the 4 years, when they opened the tap, there was no pressure. So we had to resort to loosening the meter at least so that we can dig some small hole and put a container there just to harvest some small water into our buckets and jerry cans.
Pipelines are still in place, but they no longer supply water to homes. Officials at Ghana Water Limited say the main problem is that the demand is far higher than supply. The Northern Regional Chief Manager of Ghana Water Limited, Stephen Amehere, explains the gap.
On the average, we can do 35,000 cubic a day when we are using all our 3 pumps. We do 35,000 cubic a day. And the demand for Tamale is 90,000. So when the dry season,
90,000 daily?
Yeah, daily. So in the dry season, when all other sources are drying up or have dried up, everyone now relies on another company. So it even worsens the situation. Animals, car wash centers, food joints, everybody's relying on this 35,000. So it makes the scarcity worse. And you know, when the dry season too, because of dehydration, people even consume water more.
Many residents now depend on buying water to survive. Tahiru says this is the only option left for his family.
For the dam water, something like 20 drums goes for around 400 Ghana cedis. Almost the same as the pipe water, because pipe water you can get it around 500. But I used to buy 50 drums. And 50 drums I pay 800 cedis for every 3 weeks. A family of 5. But every 3 weeks we consume all the 50 drums, and I had to buy another set of water. So for the students in our houses, the jerrycans they used to buy from the motor Kia drivers goes for 3 cedis per jerrycan, and that is what they go to day in, day out.
For students, the cost is high and the impact is serious. Mariam says water shortages affect cooking and daily life. Some students now use sachet water for basic needs.
So imagine if I'm in the hostel, I buy sachet water, maybe 4 cedis. And when I went to campus to stay for in the morning to afternoon time, I can't just sit there without taking water. So I have to buy water, let me say 2 cedis, 3 cedis before I come back to campus, which is not easy for us because of the scarcity of water.
Another student, Audu Faiza, says sachet water has become part of everyday life.
So sometimes, because we don't get enough water, we used to buy the sachet water because it's for drinking, we get it more than the gallon water. So when we get the sachet water, we use it to perform ablution, and sometimes we use it to cook, and sometimes too we use it for drinking. So with this, it really affects us. Sometimes we can go to the shop to buy sachet water, and they will be like there is no a lot of sachet water available, so you have to buy one.
When water sellers cannot supply enough, people turn to wells and abandoned facilities, but these sources are often not safe.
There is abandoned manhole here. That's when it rains, we get water from it. So with this, we use it for bathing, for washing, and sometimes we use it to cook. But sometimes you'll be going to fetch and we will see animals like frogs and worms in it.
In front of my hostel, there is one well which is not even covered. They use wood to cover it. So in the rainy season, when you go there to fetch the water, you see insects and these animals, small ones, frogs and all those stuff. We don't have any options to just take their water and come and bath. Sometimes when we don't have water, we have to cook it because we believe that boiling water kills germs. So we have to use it, which we ended up getting typhoid.
But once we can't do without water, a lot of us has resorted to at least the rainwater, as you said. Myself, I've done that, and during the rain season, that one, I don't buy water at all. So for 3 consecutive months, when the rain starts, I won't buy any water. I store enough water for the family and for the tenants in my house, that's the students. But as soon as the dry season begins or the rain stops, the woes of finding money to at least get water for myself and the family is has to increase.
So in the rainy season, when it's raining, you can come out and collect water from the rain. That one will, you use it for some time before you start buying water again. But if it is not raining, you have to be buying water every day.
Experts say the crisis is not only about broken systems. Changing weather patterns, known globally as climate change, is also playing a role. Rainfall in northern Ghana is becoming less predictable.
GETFund has shown that in many parts of the northern Ghana, the amount of rain that is being received is not the same. In many areas, it's less than they usually get. At the same time, in some places, it's more than what they usually get. And so with that, it means that areas that usually typically should get some amount of rain to farm, they don't get that amount. In some areas, they get a lot, but they are not prepared.
Associate Professor Yao Agyeman-Rawlings from the University of Ghana says the main issue is that communities cannot store the rain when it falls. He says this is the biggest challenge.
I think I mentioned that rain is not being captured effectively because of the lack of basic technology. We know that to capture rain, you need storage systems. And that's something that people, tend not to have. There's a traditional way whereby in some communities they've installed, bigger, tanks for them, but most of these ones are also not being maintained effectively. So in some places that they have these, storage systems, they don't really work.
Professor Boafo says both households and government must act.
I think, the solution lies with both, introducing simple yet effective, storage systems for people. In terms of their housing, I think if the gutter systems can help people, and then also adequate storage systems can be provided for communities, they can do that at the household level. Each household should have at least some kind of storage systems that can allow them to store their own water, so they don't rely entirely on community water system. Of course, they also need some sort of government support to be able to ensure that areas that are known to have, severe scarcity with water can be regularly, given these storage systems to enable them to store enough for all year round use.
A report by Mohamed Nuruddin.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
contributed to 3 schools for the deaf in Ghana, namely Savlugu School for the Deaf, Biogu and Wa School for the Deaf. In Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe, this year, we have donated cameras and accessories to 3 deaf students. I am humbled to be recognized among such inspiring change makers. This recognition will shed more light on supporting hearing impaired community with skills as well as amplifying our work and opening new doors for collaboration, funding, visibility. It validates the importance of inclusive storytelling and education. With this award, we can scale our impact, reaching more deaf students, training more mentors, and producing more stories that shape mindsets and spark dialogue. Thank you.
When news breaks, there's no pause button. With fast-moving, developing stories, decisions are unfolding, and the nation is watching. This is News Desk, with a very fast and precise tone and attitude, 1 hour. The biggest stories, the clearest facts, politics, governance, security, the economy, not rumors, not speculation, but verified news.
It's clear that the people wanted to change the will of the people of Pandai, but the Supreme Court has affirmed the will of the people.
Backed by context, sharpened by analysis. Here, headlines are not enough. We go beyond the what to ask the why and the what next. Decision makers are questioned, policies are examined, and the facts are allowed to speak without fear, without favor. This is News Desk on Joy News. Independent, fearless, credible.
So much for staying with us. We're nearly wrapping the show, but we've got a few belated birthdays and current one as well. I'm going to start with a belated birthday to Alex Apau-Dede. He is Group Executive Chairman, KGL Group, and this is from all of us here at the Multimedia Group. And of course, my namesake, belated birthday to you, Gertrude Emefa Donko Esquire, MD for Gold Board Jewelry. This is from all of us here at Multimedia Group as well. And a happy birthday to Dr. Prince Nelson Mototi. He is CEO of Piwak Natural Health, 3P garlic mixture. This one is from Henry of Multimedia Group. Happy birthday to you. And this one is from Justice Bailey to you, Mr. Ebenezer Asian, Deputy Communications Officer for the NDC in the Western Region and aspiring Regional Secretary. Wishing you grace and God's favor. Happy birthday to you, Ebenezer. We're wrapping the show, but a gentle reminder that every day someone in Ghana is diagnosed with leukemia and asked to travel abroad for treatment. This must stop. Join Bill Ghana's first Center for Hematology and Clinical Genetics. Donate to the Leukemia Project Foundation, Stanbic Bank, Silver Star Airport City. City account 9040004356 815. That's for the CD account. For dollar, 90400042998889, or EcoBank Silver Star Airport City CD account 14140001445445, and for the dollar account 34410001 44544. And if you like it simple like me, MTN Memo 054-501-3437. Telecel Cash 0200-695209. This initiative is by the Joy News Impact Makers Foundation in partnership with the Leukemia Project Foundation. Kindly donate to a worthy cause. Do not wait till it happens to your family. Well, good news. Do you want to change your TV or upgrade your sound system? How about getting an AC that sends mosquitoes away? Well, if you've been waiting for the perfect time to transform your home, the wait is officially over. LG Prime Week is here at Compu Ghana and is bigger than ever. From the breathtaking cinematic color of LG TVs to smart refrigerators, washing machines, air conditioners, microwaves, and more, enjoy world-class innovation designed to make life easier, smarter, and more enjoyable, now within your reach for a fraction of the price. But don't wait. This is strictly 1 week only, from April 20th to April 26th. You still got some days, so don't miss out. Visit any Compu Ghana showroom today or shop online at www.compugana.com to shop for any LG product. Or for inquiries, call 0302-752020 or send them a WhatsApp on 0243-141-143-143. I'll take that number again. WhatsApp number 0243-143-143. Own an LG product today. LG, life is good. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show. My name is Emefa Akosua Adeti. I will see you at 12 for the 12 bulletin, but please stay for Joy News Desk with Mamiesi Nyameche Thompson. Have a good one.
When news breaks, there's no pause button. With fast-moving, developing stories, decisions are unfolding, and the nation is watching. This is News Desk, with a very fast and precise tone and attitude. 1 hour. The biggest stories, the clearest facts, politics, governance, security, the economy, not rumors, not speculation, but verified news.
It's clear that the people wanted to change the will of the people of Pandai, but the Supreme Court has affirmed the will of the people.
Backed by context, sharpened by analysis. Here, headlines are not enough. We go beyond the what to ask the why and the what next. Decision makers are questioned, policies are examined, and the facts are allowed to speak without fear, without favor. This is News Desk on Joy News. Independent, fearless, credible.